If you want to share this world with them, you need to understand them.
You know, they never even wanted us to succeed. They bulldozed a sacred site on purpose to trigger a response. They're just fabricating this war to get what they want.
Can't believe that. That's how they do it. People are sitting on shit you want, you make them your enemy. And then you justify them taking it.
In order to fight a war legitimately, you have to keep the morale high. It means one side has to know that they're fighting on the side of God and truth and what's right. Once one side or the other becomes aware that they have no backing and purpose for what they're doing other than following orders, the morale drops. They don't want to fight no more. They don't want to kill for the orders of the slave leader. So they start to neglect their duties and obligations. You know, at some point, the power dynamic flipped after 9/11. If you look in the history of the Middle Eastern War, the troops started coming back telling everybody that it's bullshit like they always do. So the morale dropped. You're not going to ever be able to win a war over there now because we all know who's lying and who's not. It doesn't even matter who we align with and who we like culturally or societally. We know one side is doing war for profit. We know the other side's being invaded. And they're using certain means to get that done, certain ideologies and propaganda to get that done. But anything that you can come up with that's come from the mind of man can be defeated by the mind of man. A minimalist force can have a maximum effect if they understand the lay of the land, the psychology of human beings, and how to do asymmetrical warfare. You got folks who've been running through the mountains all their life. You ain't going to be able to do nothing with them. They're going to have the high ground. Every time you go up that mountain, they're going to be off to the next one. They're going to fight you guerrilla warfare style. You'll fight a 20-year war and get nowhere, just like they did with Afghanistan. They know the lay of the land. They can sit in a cave all day, every day while you're uncomfortable. They can use the minimalist amount of equipment to have the maximum effect. You'll never stop them. You'll never end that war till you leave. So you either have to kill everybody or leave. And that's exactly the way they plan to continue to fight for a reason, because they know the alternative is slavery. We're not going to get slaved by a bunch of infidels who are going to genocide us. We'd rather fight to the last man, guerrilla warfare style, and do it from a spiritual perspective. They're fasting, they're eating minimal, they're praying when they're not fighting, and they're ready to die when you folks want to come play games. The Afghanis don't seem concerned. They can't be beaten yet. The Americans are losing money, they're losing equipment, they're losing morale, they're losing their minds. And the Afghanis just lit up another bowl of hash and just reloaded another RPK. What about the drones? What about this? What about that? What about it? Do you think the Afghanis give a fuck about drones? They're sitting there with 10 ounces of hash, thousands of rounds of ammo with guns from 40 years ago, and they're just waiting and wishing you fly a drone over and do something. They don't care. What else are they going to do except sit in a simulation with their family and farm and deal with a bunch of infidel slaves? What else is left? Wake up, dummies. True Islamics don't do war. They do war on you when you invade. The problem is you keep invading them and then crying when they go to war. Pretty simple. Don't invade them. They won't go to war. And let's be real. These beings are using the modern equivalent of bow and arrow, and you folks still can't get it done. I don't give a fuck if I'm an American and you got United States Corporation running all over. I say it's going to be me next. You're going to do to me what you're doing to them. Invade their communities, tell them they're the enemy, and start taking families out of the homes and looking for guns, weapons, and activity of terrorism. The same thing they did on Katrina. Does anyone remember? You think I'm going to side with a group that's terrorizing the world when they've already terrorized us? Absolutely not. All of life should be lived preparing to die. This is a spiritual, metaphysical / physical simulation arena. You're not a human, you're having a human experience. You're a spiritual being first, but you're here to use the body, not identify with it. If you ain't using the body to challenge and test and go past fears, you're fucked. Greetings, folks. We're back at it. At some point over the course of time, I will be releasing the interaction of the arrest of myself and Jennifer, at least certain parts of it.
for now, I'm going to keep it close to the chest because, we have pre-trial in a few weeks. As I told the administrator lady, amazing woman. I just want to say right now, first impression, amazing woman, this administrator. Okay. I'm not going to get into it. But yeah, we're going to go to pre-trial. I have faith, as I told her, that this matter will be resolved. Much like the intro just said there, it's going to be me next. You guys are going to come onto private property looking for weapons, telling people they got unlawful possession of dangerous weapons. That's you. See what they do in the inversion land, right? Imagine this. They go trespassing. That's you. You trespassed upon my beingness. You caused loss, injury, and harm. I had a reason to be there legally and lawfully, right? That's what they charge me with, trespass. Concealing identity. Once again, that's you. Officer such and such, badge number, blah, blah, blah. Never want to give you their first and last name. That's you. Isn't it amazing? Everything they charge me with is what they're doing. That's the narcissism. There it is. Someone asked the other day, and I kind of went off on them in my bizarre chimpanzee-like way at times. And he had a point. He goes, you think the system's inherently narcissistic? I go, can we get away from this word? Because we're all using it way too much nowadays. Like we're clinical psychologists. But I think we all get a handle on, well, not we all. Some of us who can actually think, feel, speak, have some kind of connection to something other than this world and the other clowns in it. We can apprehend pretty much what's going on there. So it's kind of like the Talcott inversion, reversion mirror, where it's like, that's you, whatever it is, that's you. Because it's me too, because it's I am that am, because it's all of us. If we don't practice self-observation and spiritual practice, it's all of us. That's the thing. You never know you're doing it when you're doing it. You see everyone else doing it, and then you don't realize you're doing it too, because that's you. Right? So they go, you're trespassing. That's you. You're concealing your identity. Badge number 3333. That's you. Right? Possession of dangerous, deadly weapons unlawfully. That's you. Because you're using status and system and position and corporate body in order to have more rights and abilities than men and women you serve. So again, that's you. You guys were unlawful possession of deadly weapons. And you used your force in order to intimidate, do coercion and duress, and try to use the system, do malicious prosecution. And then you stole my card, credential card, and $174 that was counted right in front of me, by the way. This guy goes, you got a large amount of cash. I go, man, you guys ain't doing so well if you think $174 is a large amount of cash. Now I see why you're here. You guys should get better jobs or something. But yeah, he counted it right in front of me, and then none of it showed up, wasn't logged, right? So multiple people lied on record, stole, put people at loss, and that's fine. Because this matter is going to be put to rest. I got a strong, faithful feeling in the Most High, and even the devil at this time, that everybody's going to get what they need, one way or the other. I don't even know if that looks good for me in the end, or like in between, because it's not an end, right? I don't think no matter what happens, they can't keep me forever, presuming they do want to incarcerate and presuming they decide to get that done and can get that done. Legally and lawfully, of course. Not that I really care about the legal aspect of it, but again, I didn't challenge the jurisdiction at this time. I'm pretty much conferring jurisdiction. I'm so confident in this case, legally and lawfully, I'm not even going to argue. This is amazing. The first time ever, I asked my father, Paulie Boy's not going to argue? No, there's nothing to argue about. It's so clear cut. It's cut and dry. It's airtight. Open and shut, cut and dry, airtight. That's it. I don't have much to say. So this is going to be real easy. Contract, we had a lawful reason to be there. The contract even says the buyer can inspect utilities and do whatever they please. There's nothing in there about not being allowed to be there. So I have a hard time believing that the seller would trespass the buyer from the property they were inspecting. I believe the sheriffs made this all up or took a complaint from someone claiming to be the seller and made it true. And they created 5 sets of liabilities for themselves, the county, the jail, and 3 other organizations that we're going to get into. So it's going to be really interesting. There's going to be a lot of, Whoever's this prosecutor, man, fuck the jurisdiction and all the rest of it. Oh, the state of is going to move the case. Okay. Prosecutor, yeah, man or woman, are they going to go on record? Well, that we won't even get into that. I won't even argue that the woman. You know what? I'm not going to argue at all on this, because normally I go, whoever this person is who's claiming to be the people is going to have to go on record as a man or woman with their first and last name, quote unquote, given and family name, so that we can get it on the court record in case there's liability in the future. We can't have someone stand up in open court and say, I'm the people, not go on record and start talking. I'm not even going to do that. There's no need to. We'll say, how are you, ma'am? Right? Paulie's pimping and macking. I'm going full good faith and honor, right? I'm pimping and macking in the form of like preacher. I'm not lying. I'm not cheating. I'm not deceiving. I comb my hair back like Osteen. I come right up in there with flowers. I go, how are you, ma'am, Miss Prosecutor? Look at you go. All right. I'm going to go, here's what we're looking at. All right. I know I'm being prosecuted in this, and that's great. Good luck with this, by the way. I want to see how you get this done. Like, here's what we're looking at. Here's the deal. We got a legal, lawful, binding contract from the buyer about the seller that we have lawful and legal reason to be there. And then we got a sheriff who says we're trespassing, arrests us, puts us in for 3 days. All the rest of it. Tells me I can't have a fucking 5-shot 9mm gun on private property out in the middle of a forest. It's fucking ridiculous. Cowards and clowns. Hypocrites. They're going to arrest me and then go, and by the way, after today, I'm going to make a promise to myself and others. I'm not going to talk much about this if I can help it. I'm not going to rant and rave as long as no one brings it up. And that's a big if. I'm probably just going to start to simmer down, get more, because I'm inspired. That's really what it is. I'm faithful. I'm inspired. I came out the box hungry and inspired again. See, this is why I'm an addict and a gambler, because I love the action. I'm not doing anything to get it. I'm not causing problems, right? I'm not doing any wrong. I don't like this shit. Nobody likes this shit. But ultimately, I guess the weird thing about being a human being is the closer you are to death or trouble at times, the more you feel alive, right? So that is the experience of the addict and gambler. And I know that very well when it comes in the past to drugs and street activity and other nonsense. And since then, changing myself and my direction, I now, I guess, get my kicks not on Route 66, but with this trust and faith and equity situation, right? This upholding the law situation, this rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith situation, right? That seems to me, if we're going to be an addict, right? The word is addiction toward the word, then the word of God would be something to be good to be addicted to. Because then that benefits me and everyone else, right? And then it kind of cleanses me of the other things that are a detriment to me, if that makes sense. So yeah, I become addicted to the word of truth. You call it the word of God, and how it comes down to the dimensions as rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith. And I understand that potentially I'm probably, I'm not going to say probably, potentially I could have to be killed or go to prison in order to actualize and realize that is this game. Right? It's like part of my karma, it seems. I did this all for drugs and to be an asshole, right? So at some point, then the universe reaches out and goes, well, I can create a complete change in you and your life, but you're going to have to serve something, just like the devil does. God reaches out just like the devil does. Devil reach out, say, I'll change your whole fucking life, put you in Hollywood next to Weinstein on the couch, sucking dick and rubbing feet, sniffing people's underwear, for $1 billion. Getting you on camera, humiliating you, mocking you, all the rest of it. God will reach out the same way. So I'll change your whole fucking life. I'll bring value into you and your life. I'll bring truth into you and your life. I'll bring miracles, right? A level of freedom and personal choice into your life and everyone around you. I'll give you safe passage against the shaitan who's under my control, whether you know it or not, right? That's what's been revealed to me, what we call God, creator of this simulation. However it moves, however it works, it has ultimate control over shaitan because it's based in the word of truth. When you live in that word of truth, the shaitan has to give you safe passage. That's what I've come to believe, right? I can't say, I guess I know conclusively as fact, but that's what I've come to have faith in, right? They are not all powerful. They're actually weak and cowardly. That's why they bind together in groups. The word of truth is so strong, you can stand as one and be more powerful than all the legion of shaitan. I've proven that over and over again on this walk. And it's not out of ego and pride. Please, I'm not gambling with this system and these people to fuck me in public to show other people they have power. We know, right? We respect the enemy, non-enemy. If you understand the enemy, it ceases to be your enemy, right? So I respect these motherfuckers. I know that they got this physical world sewed up. They're in control. It's over. But luckily, my kingdom is not of this world, so it doesn't matter if they have this game sewed up. All I have to do is speak and live on the word of truth while I'm here, and I get protection from the Most High with the second Most High, which is the God of this world, the Shaitan, the deceiver, kill, steal, destroy, divider, and really, again, to not demonize the demon, because it's really not about demonizing; it's the dark forces, what we perceive as demonic is really just dark forces, which is the duality of this simulation, right? You have light forces and dark forces, and then you have a little bit of each in between. So, again, we go back to the Star Wars analogy. For Luke to be on the, for Luke Skywalker, to be on the light side of the Force, he has to be born out of the dark side. And the same is true for my walk in life, and I'm sure many others, because this is archetypal. They make movies off of the archetypal. Art imitates life, not the other way around. So, when they say, Luke, I am your father, it's because the dark side's your greatest teacher and tester. Whether it's in your own life and your past addictions and you moving past that and conquering yourself rather than trying to conquer others or move up in this world, in this system, it's about moving inside of self, successful. Obviously, anything with the word full on the end of it is about what happens inside of you that then extends outside, as within, so without, as above, so below. We got to take all this ancient knowledge, see, and this understanding of self and put it all together to where we can explain it to ourselves and others, and it can make sense. The same thing we need to do with the law, legal situation, spiritual faith or psychology, sociology, conscious awareness. It all meets at some point, right? It is the art of living or the art of understanding living, or as they say, the Rastafari will say livity, right? So this is how we come to understand self. Understand self, you understand the universe. If you understand self and the universe, then there's really nothing you can't do or be within the laws of that universe, right? And I've proven that over and over again. So again, it's not even about me, I, what I'm doing. I proved it. Please don't, take that for that. This broadcast and this presentment and this energy and this hunger and this inspiration, this passion is something I lacked for so long. So once I found it and it's become part of me and I have a reason to be and live, I have nothing but good news to share, right? That's what this is. Like they say, the gospel is the good news. I got nothing but this in my heart all day, every day. And I go, holy shit, look at what I'm living. Look at what I'm dealing with. Life is like a movie, I wonder who the ultimate director is. Doesn't seem it's me, right? I get a certain choice, get on the X, read the script, line 2, and then the rest of it has to be carried out, just like the court proceeding. So I have faith. I think I'm going to get everything I need with this. I was very comfortable considering I was in 3 days with little to no sleep, food and water, with a light going the whole time, solitary. By the time we got to court, I'd already been through my kind of ups and downs and found my sound center and balance again. I got real confident and faithful before that court interaction. I had a great rapport with that woman. She seems to be an honorable woman. And I think that we're going to get everything we need out of this. And I think that these folks fucked up, quite frankly. It's not even about me. Oh, they fucked with me. They did so much wrong and so much fucked up that they're so against what everything is that I can't see anybody riding on this, not even the most corrupt. They ain't going to put their name on this record and move this forward. It's insanity, but we'll see. You never know, I guess. If folks want to come on up, I got Mitchell here. I didn't see him down there because I'm just kind of off in my own world, pontificating, stream of consciousness a little bit, just kind of speaking what's inside of me and what the latest events have occurred. Never a dull moment. What else would we do, really? Whether we like it or not, scares us or not, loss, injury, harm or not, ultimately on the highest level, cosmically, what the fuck else do we come here to do? This is the game. We're players in the game, man. What's going on, Mitchell? How are you, sir?
Yo, what's happening? I'm just chilling.
Are you pushing trophies today or what? You got anything on the back burner? That
No,
soft,
not
that
really.
hard? You got the mollies, the trolleys, the hollies?
Yeah, no, I'm taking a day off. Just relaxing.
Take a day off.
Yeah.
And by the way, just so that, I'm sure the court and everyone else all becomes aware at some point that I do this, whatever this is. Let's just be clear. This is an entertainment broadcast, right? There's a reason why it's dubbed an entertainment broadcast, because in case I ever have to go to court, I don't want to have to substantiate why I'm doing this way and this, that, and the third, right? Again, the way I show up at court, similar, but oftentimes not the same in a lot of ways as I do on here, if that makes sense. So, entertainment broadcast here. Let's not attempt to use this as evidence, as a character assessment of who and what I am necessarily, right? That's my proviso going forward. You got anything that you want to report, Mitchell, in your life? Any ongoing interactions with the policy enforcement that I know that you become known for, much like myself, among other things?
Yeah, I mean they're happening, but not today. So I guess that's good. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm trying to wiggle my way through the process and figure out how to come to a peaceful resolution. But that's.
Yeah, I mean, at certain points, man, I'm a kind of a traveling man. That's why I'm kind of reluctant to put roots down completely anywhere. I kind of got various investments and equities, and you could call me a shareholder, multiple properties and situations, but I'm kind of reticent to put roots down anywhere because there's times where shit gets too crazy and too hot and I'm not wanted. I just get up and get gone. I've gotten used to just kicking the can down the road at this point. I can go anywhere and start over, and quite frankly, I almost enjoy it. This is part of what becomes life, right? I believe as creatures who have a mammalian aspect to self, right? I don't disregard the spiritual and faithful at all, as you know, but we do have a mammalian component, and that component is has animal aspects to it in the sense of kind of wants to move, kind of wants to explore and see what else is out there. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I could argue the opposite can be a negative thing when you never get out of your comfort zone and learn how to be you in every situation, anywhere, at all times. That's what the power in life is: actualization and realization. Saying I can get up at any time because I know who and what I am and what I can do in any situation. I'm free to be me. Let's kick it on down the road. See what the fuck life has to offer. That's a very free and empowering place to be. There's no reason to hold on and be prideful and egotistical. Well, how do we come to a resolution and remedy? Well, at some point in anything, a relationship, whatever, somebody says, you know what? Here's the resolution and remedy. I'm going to move on. You think I'm going to sit there every day with that fat bitch harassing me, dinging doors and all the rest of it till she decides to become a good person? You'll be there for the next 2,000 years till Christ return. I fucking kick it on down the road, man. And you know what? The more I do that, the more I find it. You're lucky if you're going to find anywhere that you can have complete peace and not be surrounded by some level of retarded fucking slavery and fascism. You could literally go out 17 fucking miles up a road, up a mountain, in the middle of nowhere, off the grid, and there's going to be some ranger douche or some helicopter or something that's going to interfere with the regular course of action that would take place with you and the creation as you could argue it's meant to be. So we're constantly in this egotistical process of overriding nature and creation. It's obviously not working. It's causing us to act out even more. Instead of us reconciling the supernatural, we're like all pressing, repressing, depressing it, and it's fucking acting out now more than ever. The drugs, the alcohol, the murdering on the street, the fucking, just again yesterday, guy calls for a wellness check on his friends. Who are these retarded people who call for wellness checks on their friends, by the way? Call the police to come help you. They go, our friend's not feeling well. He's like, not in his right mind. I know. Who's the first person they think of to call? I know. Policy enforcement. They're known for making people feel better. They show up and gun the guy down, and they're all sitting there crying and whining. How fucking retarded are you people at this point? Seriously. If you, your family, and friends can't help somebody feel better, maybe they need some isolation time. How about leaving them the fuck alone? Maybe you're the reason they are so fucked up. Is all these great friends and family everybody's got. Leave them the fuck alone. No, we're going to call policy enforcement to check on Jimmy. He doesn't look like he's feeling well. He won't talk to us. He wants some isolation time. Maybe he's not well. You people are not well. And slavery and genocide and fascism, and you're funding it and supporting it more than ever. It's incredible. I have so many anecdotal personal stories of folks around me, even just to yesterday, saying they're still voting for the same slaves who pushed the last 4 years and everything, still voting for mayors and governors and presidents. You people are fucking embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be incarnated with you in this realm. I don't know how you're not embarrassed to be you. Maybe you are. That's why you act the way you do. That's why you think I'm so arrogant in my confidence. I'm embarrassed by you. Just being in this thing with you.
You're tweaking, dude.
I know.
just
I'm
watched-
super aggressive, man.
I just watched a body cam video of a San Diego cop that locked himself in the back of a car with some
you guys are like
Anyways.
weekend, dude.
with some female.
I had to give him what he wants. I knew he was waiting for it.
Super aggressive. Being super aggressive.
Right.
And then
Can you
but
believe
the
this
other
fucking
one-
pig takes a gun off my side and goes typical? A 5-shot 9mm little fucking thing like this? Takes it off my hip and goes typical. As they got 10 fucking guns and bulletproof vests and they're taking over America and made an enemy out of the average man who just wants to get some property in the middle of nowhere and be left alone and grow food. I mean, what the fuck is it coming to? And they said it was conspiracy theory that Ruby Ridge and Waco was like a one-off scenario. They wonder why this is like, we're living a movie. Because I take the interaction that went great the day before with the sheriff. It went great, in quotes. It always goes great. Everyone's great. Everyone's nice. It went great. Shakes my hand. Everyone's real. Like, we get back to it, And the bitch from the day before couldn't let it go, filing false claims and causing problems. I know that's what happened. But I took that video and I put the Waco filter on it for nostalgia because it's not just Whistling Dixie. This ain't just a fluke one-off. This is what we're looking at now. And that's okay. See, I see opportunity, right? That they'll tell you if they do the self-analysis on my psychology. Paulie Boy is a history of being criminally minded, and he's an opportunist. That might be true. And much like Charlie Sheen, without the 7-gram rocks of crack, I've healed myself, Tiger Blood style. Isn't that right? But Peanut Power, that's upsetting me. I got to put you in the middle because your head's getting blocked off by the logo, right? So I go, you're right. Okay, people, I get it. I'm criminally minded and opportunistic. So now I'm going to go like, how do I take my outlaw criminality and make it serve me and God? By being for the law and against code. Because it turns out what they call law is not law. Code is not law. Law is actually indwelling. It's non-physical. It's not written down. So that works. I got a list of people here I got to thank. I'm all over the place today, Peanut Power. Hold on
When
one
are
second.
you not, man?
I know. I'm out there, man. Your boy Riles down there is quitting caffeine and tobacco. So I stopped the caffeine garbage probably about 6 months ago. And I stopped the tobacco so far since I went into the dungeon world. Hello, world.
What are you
Since
sticking
I
a
went
tree
into the
now?
dungeon.
No wrap?
What now?
Not using wraps no more? You're going to use
Just the
papers or
papers.
bongs?
Just the papers for now. I'd say what I'm never going to do again, but I've said it before and I was wrong. So I'm not going to say I'm never going to use them again. I'm just going to say for the time being, at least, kind of done with that whole thing. I want as least amount of bondage and addiction and vice and codependence in my life as possible. If for no other reason, if I have to do time, I don't want any vices. I want to be clean and pure and able to be myself and have no impediments. So I don't really find too much of what do you call it? Withdrawal from cannabis itself. Right? What the fuck was I saying, Peanut Power?
I don't know, but I hope that you're using those
criminally minded, right?
non-bleach.
I refuse to follow statute, policy, and code because I don't believe I have to if I don't cause any loss, injury, and harm and I pay my debts and follow God's law. That's it. That's the word. And opportunistic, right? Yes, absolutely. When I get the opportunity to do that and stand for what's true and what's right, it's like I get really scared and I trained my mind to, when I get really scared, just do the next right thing. That's all I can do. Just do the next right thing. Peanut Power, can you fucking light, man? You're making me nervous. You're all around the room. You got your look at you. You got your crotch in the fucking in the camera. You got your gray white skin. Your Nosferatu gray white skin because you never leave the fucking house. Not even during summertime, which is pathetic. I'm obese. I constantly sweat. I still leave the fucking house because there's light out there. You got to get some light.
OTW, man. I was walking.
Listen, when your bitch ass winds up going to jail again, because I'm sure you got in the past, I'm pretty sure you told me that. You know there's no fucking light in there. Get some goddamn light in your life while you can, because you might have to carry that light through some dark fucking places. Charge your batteries, boy. Now, Mitchell, you got any ribeye in you or what? Because I might need you to fucking go off on some people today. If I got to send over a package of ribeye over there to keep you hopped up for this broadcast. He's ready. I got to thank Kenneth F. Okay, this audience is amazing. An amazing audience. There's no doubt about it. And by the way, Mitchell IQ for true fees and other things can't be mentioned on here. That's true fees for the court, okay? Bit on bit. We'll say, is Mr. Laporta trafficking drugs again? Horribly? Because he does half of them when he tries to traffic them? No, I'm not. True fees are a bit non bit. It's about truth. It's a thing we do. Cut it out, whoever's watching. Says, for donation blessings, thanks for presentations. Well, we don't take donations here. I have said that in the past. That's because I'm a little bit retarded. Some have said. I'm not saying that. Some have said that, and I'm accepting that that might be a possibility. It's not concluded yet. We'll find out long term. I don't take donations. I'm not a charitable organization. Folks from time to time, extended friends and family gift me things because they love me so much and because I'm so damn cute. Look at me. Look at me on that screen right now. It's hard to resist. Okay, that's what's going on here for all the folks listening and watching. Some powerful Native American Indian sounds. Don't know what that means, but thank you. That's literally the message they sent me. For some powerful Native American Indian sounds. Like you want me to, okay. I'm guessing this is what he's saying. Let me try this. I'm here to serve. Let's see. I'm actually going to see if I can, powerful Native. I'm going to just, the way you gave it to me. Native American Indian sounds. So I'm going to input it just exactly the way you gave it to me. See if this is what we need. What now?
Neil's playing in the water. Some alligators are going to get him.
Really? I'm in the back. I can't see him. Do I have to come back out there? This isn't that powerful. Oh, there it is. Yeah. All right. That'll work. Does that work for you, Mr. P-Rex? For some powerful Native American Indian sounds. That'll work, I'm sure. Ramon O. Thank you, Ramon O, for your gift. That's Uncle Ramon, by the way. That's the Latino man who touched me when I was younger that I forgot about. I have no memory of it. It happened, but I have no memory of it. All right? You're an idiot. Thank you, Ramon G. Uncle Ramon. I totally don't remember the incident from back in the day. Andrew W. says, welcome back home, Dad. That's one of my stepchildren from online. I appreciate Andrew. Great boy. Great boy of mine. Chip off the old block, huh? Stay gold, Paulie boy. Much love, much love. He said it twice, so I really felt it. Eric P. Here's some bread to make some cheese sandwiches or pizza. Salute to you and yours. Thank you for all you have done, Eric. Well, thank you, Mr. Eric. I'm not actually doing much. It's more of a being than it is doing. Some would say I need to do more. Very Talcottian, right? Be more, do less, expect more, something like that. I don't know. These powerful Native American Indian sounds in the background. It's kind of like, why even do the broadcast? Let's just listen to that. Yeah. Much love, much appreciation. This audience is amazing. There's no denying it. Go ask Wizard. He won't come around and talk about it much anymore, but I'm sure he'll tell someone about it. On his deathbed, he'll say, I remember the time I went to Paulie Boys and they blessed me. God worked through all the people here to bless me, care for me the way I wouldn't for myself. He'll tell that story one day. When we get over the nonsense. Petty nonsense. Oh well, a man can dream. You got any? Why are you chasing the fucking ducks around, bro?
A pretty duck is not the usual ugly duck, you know, like these ones over here.
Yeah, but why do you got to bother the ducks and the wildlife, man? This is why code is written, because you bother in the wildlife. It's protected. That's a protected class. You're a privileged slave. That's a protected class of being. That duck has actually more rights. You think I'm kidding? Duck actually has more rights than you do, because it can roam around. It can shit on that grass right now, piss, eat whatever it wants. It's never going to get taken to jail or killed, right? If I even just walk down that grass and like I disturb one of those, what did they tell me one day? They go, you can't camp on the erosion line. They had some word for in the middle of the forest. They go, there's an erosion line. I go, can you show? I go, is it erosion have to do with water? I go, are you guys planning for the next deluge? We're in the middle of a forest. There's no body of water around me. They go, yeah, there's an erosion line. You can't camp on that because you're disturbing the environment, wildlife. But yeah, the duck can go wherever it wants, do whatever it wants. It's not subject to statute, policy, and code. I long for a day when I will be killed in human form by other humans and reincarnate in duck form so I can actually be free and have rights, is what I'm saying. I look forward to that day. It's going to happen. Look at the duck is able to have 2, 3 women partners for mates, not get judged, not be condemned, just live in its nature. It can occupy any piece of property unfettered. It has pure supernatural rights and freedoms. Man, I really want to go back to being a duck. Go ahead.
Duck mating can be some violent shit. I don't know if you've ever seen that in person. But...
Well, yeah, have you ever seen me, mate? I don't think you have. You want to see it? Yeah, it can be some violent shit, man. The physics of it, you know? Like launching one of Elon's rockets. Well, of course, it's not that big at all. But that's why it's a... Well, let's not get into it. You know the thing. You know the situation. Not pretty. Man, that's powerful. It's a powerful Native American Indian sound. Where is that, Florida?
What is this shit about? What is this?
Where are you at? Hey, be quiet. Where are you at, Penile Power? Speak when spoken to.
Pembroke, Florida.
Pembroke, Florida.
Pembroke Lakes.
What do you? Yeah, you fucking live in your grandmother's basement. Everyone in Pembroke's old, aren't they? That's why you're getting no pussy around there.
I'm caring for a 87-year-old that occasionally reverts back to being a 7-year-old, and then back to 87, and then back to 7. Pretty much at a moment's notice.
Yeah, great. All the Californians and New Yorkers get old and then move to Florida and fuck that place up and ruin it, just like they do everywhere else.
Don't forget the snow.
We're retiring. We're going to Pembroke. We're gonna bring fascism with us. We're gonna bring high gas prices and fascism with us. All right, we'll send you a card.
Yeah. So upon caring for this person, and I will say person, you know, somebody I cared for a long, long time, pretty much my whole life, who cared for me as well. After 31 fucking years, well, more specifically after 4 years of what I long suspected to be true, it turned out it was true. They are potentially DNA modified, so that's unfortunate.
I don't know what the fuck you're saying because you're talking in circles. You're like the Riddler, as you oftentimes do. You're speaking in riddles and codes.
Supposedly they had a DNA modifying treatment, if you will. And after the first one, they realized they done wrong, and maybe their grandson knew what the fuck they're talking about. But.
Right, yeah, Penile, where you been, bro? Where you been?
Yeah.
Like, well, when are you going to get to the point where, like, we merge Talcott style? And I don't mean like that, right? You know? I mean, maybe if you get your sister involved, we can talk about that. But I'm saying, the merging, like, hey, my mother and grandmother and like the whole family's pretty much like been doing this back to like, remember those like treatments they had for every 6 months before all this? Remember before the 4 years, they still had it. My mother and grandmother. We got to go down for the seasonal fucking routine. You know, remember they came up with that out of the blue? Oh, everyone's getting seasonal sickness, so we need the treatment. They already did this. They were slaved before Slavid 19. They were slaved 2015. You know? So this is old news, bro. I get it. Like you're gonna have to start to really process that death is part of life. You know, you're gonna have to get past this like loss, abandonment, lack thing and process that death is part of life and that you need these experiences in order to form you and make choices about who you want to be and what you want to do here with the limited time you have. Stop letting this fucking, you know, perceived pain and suffering and loss and lack and abandonment hold you back and affect you, right? Because we all need this shit. There's nothing formed here for us to experience that isn't meant for us to experience. And you're far from alone when we're all oneself, you know?
Well, I'll tell you this much. If I didn't know any better, I would say there was something to the fact that, you know, my other grandma who got the treatments, pretty sure got more than one. She's not here anymore. Gone on at 81 on 8/18 this past year. And
Right.
yeah, they both seem to degenerate.
In their role here. That's the thing.
Yeah, they both seem to degenerate and deteriorate into the same, you know, demented dementia, delirium, you know.
They forsake their role here, and it's a systemic. At some point, you got to break the chains that bind. You know, got to break the bonds at some point, intergenerationally. These motherfuckers have been putting shit, and it's abominable. How fucking stupid! Don't get me started, bro. See what you want to do, and I don't respond how you do because you want to sit there and cry and whine. I either move forward in my life at this point and create and use that energy and harness it, or I start fucking holding everyone accountable. Because I'll get right on my father. Again, not that we need to, because we're here now today, and I have everything I need, whether I have issues or not. I am and have everything I need, or I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So I got to just roll with that, you know, that there really are no mistakes ultimately. But the problem is a lot of motherfuckers don't want to be accountable. That's what makes Paulie Boy loot. It's not that I can't get past it and surrender. We're all here in a sick simulation and we're all going to do wrong and harm to ourselves and each other at times. It's when they can't fucking cop to it that I got a problem. That's when they activate my ego, right? So, you know, my father and all the rest of them putting shit in us and in themselves from the beginning because they're so fucking deceived and mind control and heart control that they think that the people at the hospital are nice people. They're good people. They must know something we don't. No, you're just a fucking easily suggestible, manipulatable slave. How many different ways can I show it and tell it to you till you fucking accept it? And then take accountability and atone and repent. You got no business bringing young newborn babies close to nature and creation as possible down to their fucking warehouses to get their crap pumped into them. You people are severely disturbed and distorted. And the fact that you're so comfortable in that shows the demonic aspect of your beingness. It's one thing to be born in this world and be demonic in a sense. It's another thing to sit there and lie to yourself and everyone else and try to play up to it. That's when you bring the fucking judgment on yourself, not only from me, but from that thing, I suppose. So you don't want to do it in public or you don't want to be real about it to me, you better fucking sit with yourself and be real with your own conscience about what the fuck you've done. Right? That's what matters the most. You want to pimp and play on here, there might be karma for that. You don't want to talk to me directly or tell somebody directly, whatever. You better go sit with your fucking self and work it out. What the fuck we've all been doing to ourselves and each other for way too long. Stop acting like, oh, it's not that bad. No, it's completely sick and twisted and distorted on every level. And it only stops when you stop it. That's how life works. This shit don't stop till we stop it. Everybody's a player in the simulation. Everybody has personal choice on every level. Don't tell me about what they made you do. You know, yeah, I'd say, did they hold a gun to your head when they did it? That's still not making you do it. You can always say, pull the trigger. I've been there before. You can say, I'm crazy. Maybe you folks need to get a little bit more crazy in your life in certain ways. Crazy like a fox, you know, as they used to say. So, yeah, I'm tired of the whole they made me do it. Because, again, from the beginning of time, we have stories, whole civilizations started off of people who you couldn't make do anything. They either chose to do it or they didn't. Whether it's build their own cross and stand on it, right? Or rebuke the statute, policy, and code and live in God's law and the truth, right? You can't make anybody do anything because there's always the choice to kill or be killed, right? And since we don't want to be what it is that we claim that we're not, we choose not to kill, but rather to be killed or imprisoned for what we know is true and what's right. So nobody ever fucking made you do anything. You chose to do it because fear's your fucking daddy. That's the bottom line. They know how to get you all in judgment. The shaitan knows how to use humans' fucking nervous system to get everybody in judgment to stand on what's wrong, using fear and what may happen. And they want to spread it like a virus to everybody else. False evidence appearing real, right? The acronym for fear. That's what Wayne Dyer will tell you. I won't disagree with him. You know, in that instance. I haven't listened to him in a while, but I've gone through it all at one point. You know, there's some truth in everything. I may revisit it at some point, see if I resonate with it differently as I move along on this journey to life, maturation, enlightenment, so to speak.
Yeah, Wayne Dyer is an interesting character. Definitely have gleaned a lot of wisdom from him. That being said, I'm pretty much very overly skeptical of anything that comes from the so-called New Age Library. I think it's called New Earth Library, New Age Library. Oprah's, Oprah, Eckhart Tolle, fucking Wayne Dyer. Who else? Right.
Right. I was looking at the view there.
Yeah, it's where I grew up. Actually, it's the neighborhood I was born. I was quote unquote.
That's great,
born
but
in.
here's the problem. Right now, let's get into it. Can I have reefer without being turned into a criminal?
Yeah. What?
What do you mean,
Obviously, you're not
yeah,
asking me.
what?
Obviously, you're not
I'm
asking me.
asking you fuck slave.
Can you have reefer without being a criminal? Yes.
Can I have reefer without your agency, whatever it is around there, rolling up on me and going, "What are you doing down here, boy?"
It's medical only, I think, huh?
Medical only. There you go.
Yeah, I was
Can
on
I have a
OTW
gun?
the other day, and
Can I have a gun up my ass if I want it? Because I'm feeling a little frisky that day. Can I have it like concealed deep in my own rectum, or is that going to be criminalized?
in Broward County, on Broward County, whatever the fuck. Yeah, good luck.
There
luck.
you go. So right away, guns and reefer right off the fucking map can't be there. Because I'm not going to be turned into a fucking criminal every day by expressing my pursuit of happiness or carrying protection for myself and my property. I don't know what you're saying, Jennifer. I'm in the middle of doing this.
Broward County.
Jennifer's fired up. She wants to go to court with these men. Okay, the sellers agree to not press charges. So again, Jennifer, I already got the vibe from whatever this is that we won before we ever, how to win without fighting. That's the art of war. How to win without fighting. Like the vibe already came over me at some point when I saw that administrator the other day that this is already over before it started. Right? So the sellers are not pressing charges. That means the state's going to have to decide to pick up the case or not. If the state picks up the case with no party on the other side, well, then we know where that's going to go at some point. If they push this, they're not equitable. Then I'm going to inform them that, we're going to keep this in the common law jurisdiction or you folks are inequitous, right? There's no reason for any prosecutor or state of corporation to want to push this issue and pick up this case when it's completely illegal and unlawful what they're doing. What we're doing is completely legal and lawful. We want to play that game, right? The administrative / contract, public safety codes and laws versus the actual law, because the code is only given force of law to the consent of the governed. At any time, I revoke my consent to be governed by statute, policy, and code, right? It's what it is. You can't force me to contract. Just because you say it and just continue to get people to drag me off does not make it legitimate, real, and true. We know what's going on here. I got them on record, Colorado State Court's over with. These games are over. Right, so they're going to have to talk to me with respect. They're going to have to recognize me at court. They're going to have to. She said yesterday, you can motion, do whatever the fuck it is, attorney. I go, I don't know about motion, attorney, and none of that. I go, I'm asking you, Miss Such and Such, from man to woman, can you make a condition on there? I'm calling her to serve me at that point. That's all motion is. Alphonse and these clowns want to tell me about civil legal procedure. I'm not a cult of the civili. I'm not civilized. That's the thing. I can pull up any one of these broadcasts and say whether it's entertainment broadcast or not. Does it look like I'm professional? Does it look like I'm civilized? I'm the antithesis of that. That's where I get my power and value, all the things they shit on me with. That's what God showed me. All the things they judge me with of the world and shit on me with is where my true power comes from. You can't get status and standing and jurisdiction over me. I'm not part of the civili cult. I'm not civilized. I don't need to know civil process and procedure. What I do need to know is how to do ethical busyness or to contract right? And to have a relationship with my fellow man or woman. I'm pretty damn good at that at this point to some degree. So I say, Miss Such and Such, the administrator, please put a condition on this record that we're going to go down and get that property, because I understand she doesn't know what's going on. She don't have all the facts yet. She's not an issue. She's third party impartial referee. She says right now, as it stands, somebody has a trespass order for that land, right? So you can't go back there. I said, well, you're going to need to put a condition in that until we get to the next hearing and meeting that I'm going to get a third party to go on that property or escort me down there to get what I need off that property. I don't need to say motion and play these fucking games. I'm a man, you're a woman. We know what we're talking about here, right? So long as she doesn't play the legalese game, try to dishonor me and not recognize me as a man, not deal with me in the common law and conversation, we're going to go far in this game. Soon as she flips up and switches on me and starts playing that's how jurisdiction works. Just because they move the case along and they say what they say doesn't mean they believe that they've really attained jurisdiction. Because once that administrator believes they attained jurisdiction, they're going to start talking to you like a pimp talks to a hoe. Shut up and sit down. Don't fucking talk over me. And once you correct them and check them, if they don't really believe they have the jurisdiction and have the goods, they're going to get checked, because I've done it. I had the guy said, listen, Mr. Jeffrey so-and-so, he said, you're going to address me as how did he put it? I'm a such and such administrator or this, whatever. You're going to address me as your honor. I said, sir, please. It says right there, your name is Jeffrey Jones, right? So you're going to address me as Paul and I'm going to address you as Jeffrey, And then he was kind of taken back that I'm going to keep him in the common law realm. Like, I'm not going to get loud with him. I'm not going to get belligerent. Sir, don't get loud with me. Don't be contemptuous like you guys like to say. All we're really establishing here is who has the sovereignty, who has the control, who has the confidence and faith. Is he faking it till he's making it? Am I? Who's got the goods? Who's got the juice? Right? So just like he can say to me, you're in contempt, I can say to him, please don't raise your voice to me. You're acting contemptuous. In any relationship or conversation, we can do that. We're doing business. We're airing it out. We're getting to where we're at, to where we need to be. So the problem is most motherfuckers don't have the heart and the balls, it seems, and feel like they know what they need to know to just go in there and talk to a motherfucker like they're a regular man or woman. And to know certain level of how court moves and how the process moves, to know kind of what's going to happen next and what to do and not do. So I'm getting a Harvard level education on legal lawful by getting arrested over and over again, having to present at these courts. Right? I'm getting so good at interacting with these people that now I'm able to almost contract and develop a trust and equity and get them to somewhat work for me based in the trust that we're all here for anyway. Unless they're completely corrupt and ego, unbound. 90% of my interactions at court, when it comes down to talking to an administrator, I can establish some level of direction and momentum and movement to the point where I pick up on the fact that they all respect me. They look at my history and the fact that I have no schooling and no degree, and I was a fucking drug addict waste, and I haven't had any charges on file since other than this crap of them trying to use fascism to fuck me. And they go, this motherfucker's a real life story. He really changed himself in his life. Look at him go when he comes to court. They're proud of me, like Darth Vader was, Luke Skywalker, Dark Daddy, right? Everybody's black daddy, proud of me like Antoine was, everybody's black daddy on here that day. They want to see a player. They want to see somebody change their life. They want to see somebody come in with confidence and faith and be able to move and shake and spit some shit. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to see that? Who's not entertained by that? Who's not into it? Especially at court. I've said it over and over again. They're so used to slaves coming in there, pretending to be sorry, putting their head down, not being able to speak for themselves, hiring other people, wasting money, acting like a fool, lying, cheating, saying things they don't mean. Shit's fucking depressing and embarrassing. That's why administrators after 20 years talk to the public like they're scum. Same way I would if I did a broadcast for 20 years. I've done it for 3 years. I'm already doing it now at times. Go be an administrator at court and watch how many people roll in there and try to bullshit you. Try to tell you they didn't know they were doing wrong. When they had a fear in their heart looking around while they were doing it. That's how you convict a motherfucker. Jennifer, Who cares? We're not going back there. Who cares? Long as there's no extended, whatever. They're saying something about the conditions of not pressing charges are going to be a restraining order, right? So as long as the restraining order, they can fill out a restraining order all they want. You don't have to sign it. They can believe whatever they want. Can't force you to sign anything. We're not going back there anyway, and that's reasonable. They're basically saying, we'll drop the charges. You go your way. We'll go ours. Don't come back. I don't give a fuck about that. As long as there's no other conditions. Can't have a gun. Can't use unlawful substances. We'll prescribe you lithium and opiates and all the rest of it, Xanax. If you want to be a drugged out slave, but don't you go smoking cannabis or whatever the fuck else. As long as there's no fucking conditions, and the conditions are just, hey, stay the fuck away from us and our property. Great. I'll take out a restraining order too. Show me where to sign, bitch ass motherfuckers. Like I want to be around you anyway.
Yo, you said something funny. I got like a vision while you're talking about the court administrator. It's like, it really is if I like close my eyes. When they're sitting there with the robe on, like they're not there. Like they literally disappear, right? Like their actual body disappears because them as a man or woman like isn't present, right? So it's just like a mouthpiece, or like the paper is like quote unquote talking, right? And then nobody's really there. So when man walks into the courtroom, he's the only one there, and there is no other man there, right? So like it is like walking into an empty room. And then the man goes, yeah, that's me. And then he bonds himself to, like, he takes the paper, puts it to his head, right? Like gluing the Monopoly piece to your head.
Right, just like when she goes, her first question is, her first question to me was, what's your name? They're going to fuck you right there. Yeah. If you say Paul Laporta when they ask what your name is, it's the same. See the game? Sounds a lot like what it looks like on that paper in all caps. Don't do that. All you have to do is say anything other than what's written on that paper in all caps. So even to me, as far as I'm concerned, Paul a Laporta family. I tell him, you want my given and family name? Paul Laporta family. As long as I don't say what's, if they say Mitchell such and such on the paper in all caps, Mitchell whatever, first and last name, and they go, what's your name? Mitchell such and such. Looks like what it sounds like, what it looks like. Now they can play the game, a plausible deniability, right? And again, it's about how you move along the way. You act like at any point in a relationship or a courting process, they go, aha, gotcha, and you can't come back. They could pull me over and I pull them back. They pull me over, I pull them back. That's how that works. Every time I show up to a new hearing, it's like we start over again. I'm going to put another affidavit on record this time. Just to be clear, for the court record, may not be applicable, but I'm going to go ahead and speak this onto the record. I have a right to impress upon the record whatever I please if it's pertinent to my quote-unquote defense or my claim. So I'm going to put it right on record next time, what I didn't last time. Just to be clear, for the court might find this interesting. That's my understanding. Statute, policy, and codes given the force of law by the consent of the governed. I don't consent to be governed by statute, policy, and code. I'm making special presentment here today because this court occupies a dual jurisdiction, and in a common law jurisdiction, you're accusing me of trespassing upon my fellow man and woman. So I'm here to clear my name in front of God and with this court. I'm here as a friend of the court to make the court's time and energy go by a lot quicker. We're going to clear this matter the fuck up quickly. I'm a godly, righteous man on some level. I try to do no fucking harm. Okay? So unless you got a man or woman on the other side who has that claim, we're going to be right up out of here. Don't tell me about $1,000. You're going to charge me or whatever. She said, we may charge you $1,000. The court decides. It's ridiculous. I haven't presented for 5 to 8 fucking court cases, and all the warrants have been fucking removed because they know they got nothing contractually. You guys don't understand. This is all contract law. You've been duped. Sorry to tell you. Do I have to pull up again location of debtor today, USC? It says District of Columbia. You're not even a United States resident. Do you not get that? You guys are all in fraud right now. The reason why these courts think you're a fucking dumbass is the same reason I do. The reason they treat you like you're a lying fraud and scum is the same reason I do. Because you all run around all day going, I'm in the USA, while you're voting for Daddy Trump and all the rest of it. You ain't. Unless you were born in the District of Columbia where no one's allowed to occupy. Isn't that weird? Let me pull it up, Mitchell, because they're going to say that I'm doing sovsit nonsense. You know, they're going to say that I'm making it up. Doesn't exist. Location of the debtor, United States. Oh man. This is what I am, a glorified trash man. I'm here to take out the trash all day, every day. I'm glorified online garbage man. Location of the debtor. Let's see. What do we got? Uniform Commercial Code 9-307. Location of the debtor. That's Cornell Law School. We're gonna go down here. Location United States. There it is.
Yeah, no
Location
offense,
United
Paul.
States.
I
This
think
is
if I
where I
wanted to
already
learn
start
about the law,
perfection.
I'd go to Flow State's panel, but
Yeah, okay.
digress.
I know. If you want to learn how to like cop out to felonies, lose all your rights, sign contracts, give away everything and not know it, hire an attorney and pay him to do it, go to Slow States. He's a regular fucking genius. He's also a ladies man too, by the way. He's a man who wears many hats. Okay, keep
Damn,
it on the
free
subject here.
promo.
Hey, asswipe, keep it on the subject. Location of United States. United States is located in the District of Columbia. In. Not in your mama anymore. You're in the District of Columbia. Are you really? When did that happen? You guys are all defrauded, duped, and pimped and slaved the fuck out. And it comes right from Cornell Law School, so you can't say I'm making it up. Your institutions agree with Paulie Boy. Isn't it weird how life works? God uses the least among us. I'm just a trailer-dwelling gorilla who smokes weed online, like they say, and theorizes. Turns out the U.S. Code, the UCC, Cornell Law School, and Paulie Boy all align. That the location of the United States and the debtor is in the District of Columbia. So by virtue of that fact, which now starts to make sense how we all got duped out of the Republic with a democracy, it's called corporate takeover. They went to Maryland. Okay, they started the state of idea, you know, they incorporated, created a District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., and they've headed a corporation out of D.C. ever since. It's a political body politic, and they've gotten all you clowns, including myself for most of our life, opting into United States corporation by claiming to be a resident of a 10 square mile place on Maryland that we can't occupy. They pimped us so fucking good, there's no way but to laugh. You can't even be mad. You can't even be mad. They pimped everybody so fucking good, you got to respect the game. They said, we're going to create a 10 square mile block. We're not going to allow anybody to live there. And we're going to get all you fucking tards to say that you all were born there and live in it. You fucking pimped out dumb matrix slaves. And you all run around with paperwork saying, I'm in the USA. It's not possible to be in the USA. You can be on the land that you call the USA, which is America, United States of America. It's a corporation on the land. You've been duped and played out. And that's why most of you subject to statute, policy, and code. Because you contracted into a system where they made you a trustee of U.S. corporation and claimed you were born in the 10-mile square zone that makes you an agent and trustee of the corporation and then gives you liabilities and obligations rather than rights. That's the difference between the protected class, everybody born outside the 10 square mile District of Columbia, and the privileged class. You motherfuckers are so stupid. And the agents turned around and called themselves the people to take all the power you gave up when you changed your status and standing in jurisdiction. Stop arguing with me about it. The U.S. fucking code says it. It's common fucking sense. How could Donnie Trump and the rest of them run everybody's life, whether we vote or not? Because you all claim to be part of the body politic. And what does a corporation need? A president, a vice president, a treasurer, on and on and on and on. Pimped and played and duped. Don't tell me it's sob sit mumbo jumbo. I got every court on this land dropping warrants at this point. I got every court on this land letting me out when their fucking agents on the land go, what? We ain't gonna lock him up? No way. I had this guy that he couldn't believe it that they said to let me go. They go, we got him with guns. He was trespassing. That was a lie too. Wait till they see the contract. They're so fucked. They're gonna get sued so fucking hard on this one. This is so meant to happen by God. It's obvious. Whether I have to go to jail behind this somehow, some way or not, they fucked this up so hard in every way. It can only be meant to be dropped and then them to be sued and compensation be granted. Right? So it's like, I couldn't have planned it any better myself for a movie story that I didn't want, but apparently need to carry this walk further. All the United States citizens, fucking duped out coward clowns, and they think I'm crazy. They think I'm stupid. They think I'm the one who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Snafu Snaps and Joe Moore, Timmy and others.
I was just saying right now live, the Trump verdict is coming in right now as we speak. Everyone, of course, the internet's blowing up, and again, we know it's a political theater show, but it still will impact the life here in the mainland and the mass and what fucktards think and do. So I just want to let you know right now live, everyone's going to it, obviously. The verdict's coming in. If Daddy Trump is criminally liable or not.
Listen, bro, I don't give a fuck about their soap opera nonsense. They're all working with the media. It's all one big show. It's all one big pimp game. Everybody's duped out and hoed on. And ultimately, it all leads to civil war, just like it led to World War. And it's all by design. You ain't fooling nobody. So they're gonna write this fucking story up if they let it. If they make it happen like anything else, they're gonna try to. If they can get it done, then they'll make it real good. Try to take Donnie from being elected, everybody's favorite daddy. They're waiting for him to come back. Again, it's all just little down the road, random chance / organized plans to try to create stimuli to get the people to act out. And then they'll combine it with economic shit. They'll combine it with biologicals. They'll combine it with weather weapons. We know what the fuck is up at this point. Call us whatever the fuck you want. Obvious, beyond obvious. It's painfully obvious at this point.
And the day the room is empty. It's only man and woman there. Like I went to Rwanda 20 years after the genocide happened, and no UN, NATO, none of them showed up for 100 days. And you know how the French got that shit to work? 15 years before that, they separated the two tribes there basically by giving them ID cards. They gave one group the ID card, the Hutus, and the other group, the Tutsis. They're literally brothers. Like some people's brothers and cousins were on the other side. And then they just gave all the political favors and economic stuff to one side. And then obviously they killed each other, right? So nobody likes to say the thing about the French, but I mean, I do. I don't give a fuck. Those guys are at the core of every problem, right? Just man behind the curtain. So they convinced folks over time, right, at the end of the day, to do the civil war against each other.
Well, yeah, you're talking about, you're going Bavarian Illuminati now. I know you're going down this road of, again, this is a spiritual dynamic before it comes down to ethnic and culture. You want to pinpoint, let's leave, it's the Jews.
That's fine. It's fine.
The Bavarian Illuminati.
I'm speculating.
It's all of them, dude. There's no separation.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's ego and pride. I mean, you may have like a thing up your ass about the French. I get it, but I also don't, because they're doing it everywhere. The French didn't go to fucking Pakistan and have Pakistani authorities running around playing the same egotistical, prideful games with costumes and identification.
I'm just calling it out. But obviously, what I'm saying is behind that is just men. A few men. Doing the bidding of the dark forces, however you want to call it, to confuse folks to then do the civil war against each other.
Yeah, you can try to trace the English, German, French origins of what we call the Illuminati that everyone says doesn't exist. And ultimately, again, you never hear me talk about what I've either studied at one time that I've forgotten more than most folks know, because it doesn't matter to me. Right? The reality of it is a spiritual dynamic. We all have evil within us. We're all part of the system. We all buy into it. So the only way out of this, regardless of who created it, is stop being in and of it. Stop giving the responses and reactions it expects of you to get you where it wants you to go. That's the only game here for everyone. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what they eat and what they say and doesn't matter. It's about you. It's about each one of us and our individual soul journey to either breaking our soul, or continuing to be soul broken, or repairing and keeping our soul on our personal choice and surrendering in trust and faith. This is a spiritual walking dynamic before it ever manifests in anything else, far as I'm concerned. I'm never going to say absolutely. I speak with authority because I can't see it any other way at this point, right? But I'll never say absolutely what it has to be. I'm just telling you from my perspective, and I don't see how it benefits us to focus on the ethnicity and the race. When this is a worldwide problem from the beginning of time, the idea of government, which literally means mind control, which is a spiritual, metaphysical endeavor. And it's not coincidental. They do the same things everywhere from the beginning of time, no matter what, right? Just like the God of creation does. So we have that duality showing. It does the same thing from the beginning of time, no matter what. You just got to choose, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
So, hey, forgive me, Paul. You know, I'm on the phone, right? I don't know how good the
No, you're good to go, man. What's up, Joe?
You know, with that 2-cent stamp, that's exactly what I'm trying to show, Tal. There's
Now
two
you're
separate
breaking up.
jurisdictions. There's domestic and non-domestic. Can you
I
hear?
get that. I'm not so sure how it applies, though. How does it apply?
Well, how?
You're basically saying within what we
or in
call
the
United States is
jurisdiction-
what they call domestic, and anything that operates outside that is foreign.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm
and then
aware of
on
that.
top of this, if you wanted to, you have the opportunity to be private right now. So if you created your affidavit, have it notarized, sent registered mail, which is non-domestic. It's outside of their jurisdiction, and it's sent by a third party. Now you're private, but make them answer you within 10 days. Give them amount of time to correspond or acquiesce, because we know that acquiescence is agreement. You can get them in a default position before you go to court. You should also have like a countersuit going parallel. So
Yeah,
you
we're
have a
working on all that. I mean,
countersuit
you know, it's only a day or two after
You
the
know, it's a
fact.
lot
We're
to do.
collecting.
It's
Yeah, we got to do the investigations. We got to collect evidence. We have to get people's word on record and affidavits. You know, the process is moving, man. Again, you got to also have faith too. You guys want to come into these interactions like this is like fighting, like we're going to war. It's a simulation of war. The best warrior is aligned with God, so their moves just come from somewhere else. Everything just kind of links up and syncs up when you're in synchronicity. It doesn't mean you abandon your posts and your work. You just do the next right thing and what needs to be done, and then you stop. And then everything else takes its course. I don't need to resist. I don't need to get him in default. This is so clear cut, legally and lawfully, that I'm literally willing to go in there and go, call me Hulk Hogan, call me whatever you want. I don't care. You're going to have to establish how you're going to charge me and put me in a cage. It's never going to happen with what they have. It's not happening. Everyone in the interaction, including the seller, has taken on an obligation and a liability that they have neglected. The liability is not on me and her. We had interest and equity in the property and a lawful agreement to be there. We're the innocent party here on all levels. Everyone else in the interaction bears some guilt and wrongdoing and liability as it stands. I don't have to do a motherfucking thing.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree,
that's the
but
thing
that's where
about this.
The countersuit should run parallel.
Again,
You should have a
it's really
countersuit, already
simple. It's
running.
really simple. One thing at a time. They have what they have. Here's what we have. Pre-trial. Do you want to go to trial? And I'll put an affidavit orally on record the next meeting, pre-trial, about who and what I am and what I believe to be the separation in jurisdiction and how we're going to move this court under common law because there's no party on the other side. Right. And then they will show me what they believe they have at that moment. If they believe they have the goods or not. Do they think they have control and jurisdiction over my mouth and my body? So far, they ain't got it.
If they're gonna be in honor, Paul, a lot of times they're not in honor. There's not a stenographer there. It's
Again,
not a
I'm not
photographer.
interested in a lot of
You know,
times. I'm not interested in a lot of times. I'm telling you where I'm at now. I trade on what is. What is the woman has been honorable and presentable first meeting. She let me speak whatever I wanted. She didn't make me say motion. She didn't tell me I need an attorney. She listened to me. She did what I asked. I'm going to work in trust and equity until I'm shown dishonor. Then we will go to a different modality and we will go to technicalities and semantics. I'm not going to piss the court off playing sovereign citizen games. Stop approaching every fucking problem with one motherfucking solution or one way. It doesn't work. Be like water. I know what to do in the moment because I'm pretty instinctual and intuitive. I know when someone's trying to fuck me and I gotta fuck them twice as hard. I know when someone's looking me in the eye and being honorable and equitable. I also know when they switch up for whatever their reason is. Then I switch up if necessary. That's how you learn to be a player and do relationships in anything in life. That's how you work and do good business. You don't come into the interaction presuming every problem's a hammer or nail and all you have is a hammer. Everybody's going to fuck you. Everybody's inequitous. Everybody's dishonorable. That's how you project out and receive that. Equity law is what you want, you must give first and foremost. So when I showed up, happy as a clam after being tortured for 3 days, chose not to suffer, lived in equity and trust, spoke my fucking piece, and presented my energy, I got amazing results for me. Clip that. Okay? I don't need the fucking excess fear. I don't need the in quotes, sob sit like they like to say, because that's what she's going to say. If you start invoking that lingo before we need to, she's going to go, why are you doing this? You said you're a man. I'm talking to you as a woman. You dressed me as Miss Such and Such. I showed you respect. I'm doing what you say. Why are you making this about that? Because you want to be legal beagle, professional expert, constitutional law scholar. I'm not there for that. That's the difference. You folks are going to fuck up a clear-cut, open and shut, dry case by trying to play games in there and get time under your belt. I've done that already. I got what I need in that. You guys need to go to court to prove something to yourself or them. I did that already. It's a different situation now. When it's this solid, legally and lawfully, you don't get into that because it muddies the waters and it pisses them off. Then they're going to prove to you how much you don't know.
But that's dishonor. Like Joe's presuming dishonor, which is dishonor.
Right.
He doesn't understand that that's a problem because
what
then you're showing to the whole
True
world.
Trust is trusting those who are trustworthy and trusting those who are untrustworthy. That is true trust.
That's right. I mean, when to me, honor is you're showing and proving to everybody that that's your core belief, that that's your reality, that you forgive those even if they trespass against you. So you if I go in there presuming everyone else is dishonorable, then that's clearly not my core reality. That means I am retributive. That means I'm trying to get something or be retributive.
It's real simple. If you just come across. Wait till I get this video of how I showed up after those 3 days versus how DeCastro showed up after 3 days in that hole. You won't believe it. The way that I showed up and greeted them, right? Told them greetings to the court, spoke to them with respect, right? Presumed, rather than presume they were there to fuck me, presumed we were going to be equitable and good faith. And I got everything I needed because they can feel it coming off you. You don't think they can feel coming off you a good faith person who's there in love and care after knowing where you just were for 3 days? You don't think they know a drug addict, low life, lying, cheating, at war with himself scum when they show up? You don't think they know? So when you show up and you're confident and faithful and you just went through the fucking ringer and you're not projecting and rejecting and being belligerent and you greet them properly and you show them respect and you give honor to the process and you honor the courting process and you put forth who and what you are in the proper manner, you might move the motherfucking court because you're going to move the humans of the court. Just maybe. You got to be the fucking change you want to see. Everybody thinks this is about saying the right lingo. Say the right lingo with the wrong attitude. Watch how they fuck you.
That's facts.
You don't need the right lingo if you got an honorable, good faith heart and you're willing to shut the fuck up once you realize they're playing games with you. They want to switch up on me. I go, you know what? Mr. and Mrs. Such and Such, for the rest of the proceedings, I'm going to choose to remain silent because it seems that all of a sudden you're being a bit contemptuous. I don't want to believe that you're going to be dishonorable here today and dishonor this court. So in order to avoid dishonor this court, I may choose to just be silent for the rest of the proceedings. And then we'll just carry it out. And then I'll put on record, don't expect to see me back at this fucking kangaroo court because I'm going to be on my way. You guys have no respect for what we're all here doing. for yourselves, for me, for the law of the land, anything. I don't care if you take that back to your legal team or wherever you take it, shove it up your ass. This is about the will and the truth and the spirit and the character, not about anything else. It's not even about winning. Not interested in winning. I'm interested in putting the fucking truth and the facts of the matter on record and letting that speak for itself. Whatever the fuck is meant by God to come after that, well, then that's what we're here for. Just like I'll tell administrator, we go, I ain't going to name a dollar amount. My time is invaluable. You put me in a cage for 3 days with unlawful arrest. Go ahead, administrator. How much you think it's worth in useless, backless, meaningless dollars and legal notes? How much is it worth? 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 billion? Like my fucking time has any bullshit paper dollar amount on it. Give me a fucking break. I'm sure they'll see it my way. I won't have to give them a dollar amount. I say, use your judgment, administrator. You know the case law and the precedent. Go ahead and flash back there again, fuck slave, and see if I don't ban and block your ass. You think you're going to play games with me and manipulate me? Good, leave. Snafu fucking slave. Gonna flash his camera at me like he's running this broadcast. Can't even run a fucking track. He's going to run this broadcast. Go do a lap around the field, chubby. I told that fucking sheriff coward, too. You're going to remember this face. Wouldn't even look at me in the cell. They're all cowards. That's the worst part. That's the worst part. The administrator, who's a woman, bonds with me because we both know all the men that she and the rest of you fuck with, the majority of you fucking punk cowards. You don't stand for nothing. You don't think she immediately respects a motherfucker like me and what I'm doing when I come in there? Working with punk coward liars like you that you can't even trust each other? Kidding me? It's archetypal, man. This shit is animal magnetism. It's archetypal. You can't get away from self and the universal principles. All you can do is be aware of them, embody them, or suffer the consequences of not. Let's get into it, Timmy. I got checkpoint refusal. I'm going to roll up some reefer. No more tobacco. That's done. Caffeine is done. Shout out to Riles down there. I'm part of his inspiration, I'm sure. So we're doing this together. We're all in this together. He's stopping caffeine and tobacco. I have as well. We're going strong here. We don't need anything to impede us and hold us back. We're shedding, like Ian says, and the rest of them. We're shedding our bodies.
I'm off
now.
End of the month.
What are you doing?
Shedding caffeine. What the fuck's up with my audio? Shedding my last vice. I'm shedding caffeine end of the month here.
Yeah, you don't need it, man. When you got the energy of the creation, well, what good is caffeine? It's a poor substitute. You got the supernatural creational beingness in you and all around you, and you're gonna fucking give caffeine for energy. Like, come on, give me a break. All right.
If there's and I'm real miserable and fired up, that's why.
Whatever. As if like there's this thing too, like having some fucking energy and being animated and have virility and vitality has now become a negative thing. It's offensive. Excuse me. In the cult of the civility where the men's dick doesn't work anymore because they're all basically women. It's like, excuse me, pardon me. Oh, it's like metaphorically you pulled your dick out with a bunch of men who don't have one. So you got to like go, excuse me, pardon me. I have a dick. I'm an actual man. I'm not part of the civility cult. All the beta males who've been gelded and castrated for their god, right? Many became eunuchs for the kingdom of Shaitan, apparently. They've cut their fucking dick off in order to be in bondage, right? As lower, lesser beings themselves. Abominations, you could say. You wonder why the female of the feminine aspect of this species is all turning into men? Because they've all subconsciously, if not consciously, apprehended the same thing I have all at once. That the other side of things, the males they're dealing with are not actually men. So now the women are adapting to replace them because the men have all turned into women, right? If not in formality, in function. So everything happens for a reason. Don't tell me about all these masculine women out here. It's because you men are emasculated. So the women are adapting to fill the position. You ask me, it's a great time to be alive because then you got a bunch of masculine women out there who, when a man like me comes in their life, they're going to be able to balance that out with the truth. And then they're going to actually be willing to stand for something. right? Once they get the good game and the understanding and can run with it, well, then they take that energy to get back into balance, and they use that masculine energy of action to do and be something different and stand on something. That's a power couple. Doesn't matter how many you bring into that interaction either. You know? Okay. Let's move forward on some level here. I don't know where the fuck I'm going. I'm out of control here. I'm crazy. Holy boy's crazy. News now. What?
You need to humble yourself, Paul.
Right. I need to humble myself before bitch-ass motherfuckers who haven't done and been nothing yet. Of course, they'd like that. They would like me to do that. I'm sure they would. Make it a lot easier for them.
What do you want me to do?
Border check for refusal. Let's get to it, Tim. What's that? You got rights? Tell me more. Crazy idea, huh?
Slave point. Papers, please.
Okay, guys, I am at the U.S. Customs Border Patrol checkpoint on Highway 69. I forget, Sarita, I think the place is. What I'm going to do is answer their questions. I'm a U.S. citizen. What do you want me to do?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
United States citizen, sir?
I just answered that before I even rolled the window down.
What was that?
I answered you before I even rolled the window down.
I didn't hear you answer that because the window was up.
Well, the window was cracked.
I can't tell. This thing looked like the window was up. Are you a United States citizen, sir?
I already answered you. I don't think I have to answer more than once. I'd like to just be on my way.
It's loud. There's a lot of trucks, sir. This thing prevented me from seeing that the window was cracked. Are you a United States citizen, sir?
I'd like to be on my way.
Sir, are you a United States citizen, sir?
I'd like to be on my way. I answered your question once. I don't want to talk to you.
I didn't hear you answer the question, sir.
That's not my fault.
What was that?
That's not my fault.
Well, I need to.
I didn't make it noisy. I didn't make it noisy outside for you. Somebody else did. That's not my problem. It's not my fault.
Sir,
I just like
are
to be
you a
on my way.
United States citizen, sir?
I just like to be on my way.
Sir, are you a United States citizen?
Sir, may I go?
Sir, you're stopping traffic right now.
I'm not trying to stop traffic. Can I go?
No, you're gonna park right there
Where?
until you answer a question. It's gonna be right there, number 1, behind that 18-wheeler. You're gonna park right there, and somebody will meet you there outside. All right?
By that ladder right there?
Yes, sir.
That's
Just
where you
park
want me to
right
park?
there. Yes, sir. Hold traffic.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I already answered the question. I answered it for him over there. It's not my fault if you guys can't hear. I'm not going to sit here and repeat myself over and over and over again.
You're telling me that you wouldn't answer the question.
I did answer the question. I told him I answered the question. He says he can't hear. Okay, the Supreme Court says we should not speak to law enforcement. I don't want to speak to you guys. I answered your question. I'd like to be on my way.
If you didn't answer the question to him, sir, you're going to stay here until you answer the question.
I did answer the question.
Can you answer it to me right now?
I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm done talking. You know, if I'm under arrest or if I'm being detained, to do what you got to do. I'll comply with any lawful order you give me.
Okay.
It's not my fault. It's noisy outside. You know, if that's a problem for you guys, you should do something about it.
I don't see why it's such a problem to answer the question again. We didn't hear you. Why is it such a problem? Do you want to put yourself in a situation where you're going to have to sit here, but if you just answer a simple question? Why is that so difficult? Why is it so much to ask?
Why is it so difficult?
The Supreme Court says we should do. They said,
Timmy, why is it so difficult? Why is it so much to ask? It's not like over the course of decades that everything gets a lot worse based on our choice or our ignorance. What's the big deal? None of them seem to get. What's just the big deal of us stopping you whenever we want, asking you questions, presuming things, taking your rights, and subjecting you to policy and code constantly? to where you can't go anywhere, do anything without feeling like a fucking criminal or a police slave. What's the big deal, man? Are these people really this fucked up? Like, I can't, every day I wake up in this realm and I go, is this an act? Like, do they know what we know and they're just pretending not to do their job? Or like, are they really this fucked up and can't figure this out, where this all goes? Who's this person?
It seems that they're this fucked up. There's a shirtless man in the back. Or what
Chief
seems to be
Mantis,
a-
hold up 2 fingers real quick. Chief Mantis, can you hold up 2 fingers?
Yeah, I don't see anything. Oh, there's 2 fingers.
All right, you're not gonna do anything weird, are you? No, he ain't gonna do nothing.
Bro,
you gonna
that
do
cop
anything
is
weird or
basically-
what?
Am I in here?
Yeah, you're good to
there,
go.
man.
Chief Man Tits reporting for duty.
Well, there can't be 2 Chief Man Tits here. I'm already the first, so you're gonna have to take on a different monarch.
What's up, Holly? I don't know if you could hear me. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? You got a horrible lag. We may have to take the camera off. Shut the camera off because it improves the latency sometime. Just do audio only. All right, how's that? Test.
Yeah, I don't want to mess shit up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Test
Yeah, does it seem like it? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, brother.
Yeah, you got like a 10-second lag.
I hope I'm not
You're gonna have to
fucking
get close to the signal. Or
all right, you want me to leave, bro?
yeah, you can leave and come back. We'll try it again. I want to talk to you, but
Yeah,
it's lagging like crazy. You got to get better signal. All right, Chief, figure it out, bro. I can't fucking, I can't spoon feed here. Can't babysit.
Bro, dude, that stop is basically this stop is basically like the guys running the Chutes and Ladders like board game are like, are you a Chutes and Ladders player or not? They're like, tell us you're a Chutes and Ladders player. It's like, which piece on the Monopoly board are you?
Were you
Are
born
the
in
shoes?
Walmart or not? Just tell us. Why do you want to make this so difficult? Were you born in Walmart or not? Huh?
The Walmart policy. We need to know
Yeah.
anybody born in Walmart. The
I
Walmart
know,
policy.
Chief. I see a blue vest in the back of the car. I got enough to believe he was born in Walmart at this point.
Because if you did, the Walmart policy still apply.
That's right.
Just checking.
That's right. This is the game they're playing. Were you born in the U.S., which is 10 square miles of D.C., basically like saying, were you born in a Walmart? Just tell us. Does your paperwork say you were born in the Walmart and have the blue vest? Because if it is, we're going to have to get that policy book out. This is how insane it is.
It is.
And the hosts think that United States is like everywhere they're riding around. Vegas. We're on the United States. We're at California. We're there. And it's like, turns out, no, it's not.
That's
It tricked us
Walmart
again.
Store 37, actually. It extends the long arm
Jimmy,
of the
I was
Walmart
25
logo.
years old before I realized that A, Santa Claus didn't exist, and that B, Jesus was black. They lied to me on every level.
Right.
And then now this, Santa Claus, Jesus, Black Jesus, and now DC, United States. I don't know how much more I can take.
Are you a Walmart citizen? That's what they should just start asking. Yes, I am.
I don't know what Joe Moore's doing. He's got some fetish. Got some phone fetish.
Comes in.
So
When
are
you use
gonna
that
sit
zip,
here all night? Is that what you're gonna do? Because we got all night.
You're going to continue to detain me, even though I already answered the question.
We got all night. I'm on the clock here. I don't care about your rights. You don't have rights.
I'm not going anywhere till you tell
I
me.
wasn't born in Walmart.
I'm a law-abiding
Jesus.
citizen.
I already answered about the Walmart thing.
I already answered the question.
It's not my fault that this.
All right, listen. Was it aisle 6, aisle 7? No, I said I was born at the Walmart back there.
You know,
What aisle was it?
It's a very simple question.
when you
Which Walmart were you born in?
federal jurisdiction.
What is he doing now? He's crackling out and in and out. Come on, Joe Moore, get it together, bro. Please help me out.
Joe, which Walmart were you born in?
Yeah, were you born in the Walmart or not? Because as soon as you say yes, I'm probably gonna kill you, tase you, beat you, bring you to I'm gonna keep you safe, right? I'm gonna house you like product. Just tell me you were born in the fucking warehouse, and I'm gonna house you. Please.
No, Rufus. When you use the zip code, you invoke a federal jurisdiction.
No, Walmart jurisdiction, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you
just like when
presume
you
that
go
like
into the
you
post
presume that it
office-
matters. You presume that it matters what jurisdiction you invoke when the whole thing is based on a philosophy of do no harm and voluntary contracting. I don't care what you call it or what jurisdiction it is. Oh, we're in federal now. We can slave you and do harm. You can.
It's just like going into the post office.
Good. You're a citizen,
Federal zone.
I don't want to answer any questions. Okay, that's fine.
Even if you are born in the Walmart and subject to policy, they can't beat you and rape you and human traffic you because you didn't follow the policy. All they could do is let you go or deduct some privileges. Like,
And then
imagine
they
this
let the road
logic.
pirates
Imagine
do
this
it.
logic that, like, if you worked at Walmart and signed a contract and said you're part of that organization, if you do a misdemeanor, if your demeanor's not what your boss says, they get to rape you, beat you, human traffic you, put you in a cage, starve you. You know, what is this? Like we're so far down the line that nobody even questions that. Like, none of it is sound, right? So I get it. Like, we avoid the contracting to avoid having them do that, but even in the personage, even with the contract, that gives you permission to beat me and slave me because I agreed to be part of U.S. corporation and get some fucking privileges and benefits? It's absurd. What it is just a fall of a race, right? It doesn't even matter at the end of the day. The majority of these folks are just fallen, demonic. Call it whatever you want. In every jurisdiction, from federal down to local, the majority of them are fallen and demonic and unconscious.
Oh, the compilation. Nice.
Compilation, yep. Were you born in the Walmart? Were you born in the parking lot or out back?
How you doing?
If they know better.
American citizens.
What reason do you have to believe I'm not?
Give me a minute. Yeah, are you recording, sir?
Have a good day. Oh, I thought you said have a good day. Oops. I don't want this going out on YouTube. Let's try intimidation. Little bit of seasoning, little Barratry seasoning on this one.
Why does that frighten you?
Sorry?
Why does that frighten you? Okay.
Gaslighting. Little slavery stew.
So you're United States citizen, sir?
I don't wish to answer any questions.
You don't wish to answer any questions?
Ooh, yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, we got one who's uncooperative here.
I just need to be satisfied that you're United States citizens and you'll be free to go.
We're not here to harm anybody.
Oh, that's
We'd
fine.
just like to be on our way.
It's a simple question. Are you all United States citizens?
Do you have a reason to believe I'm not?
Are you?
Do you have a reason to believe I'm not?
I'm just asking a question. Are you all United
That's
States
my answer. Do you have a reason to believe I'm not a citizen?
I have to question everybody.
I understand. And it's
I have
their
to
right to
question
answer questions or not.
Everybody answers questions here.
I'm just doing my job.
You know, it's 100% inspection. Right now you're being seen.
I'm just doing my job. We just doing that job. Why are you so upset? We just doing that job. Were you born in the Walmart or out back? Come on, let's go. Don't take this all day. Why do you want to sit here? You make this harder on yourself.
The
Incredible what we're living in.
Told me what to ask you. You were born here, I presume. This is why I asked.
Just everyone at Border Patrol is working for U.S. Corporation is a migrant from someplace. Hello, are you a U.S. citizen or not? that's a New World Order, right? New World Order is you have everyone who's not from here standing with uniforms and costumes, asking everyone else questions and presuming shit.
Yeah, Doug's saying it, not you.
Why are you making this so hard on yourself?
Do you know where you are? This is America.
They bring over Haitian warlords who eat body parts to enforce policy because it's about safety.
Dude. Yeah, they've already given them what? Credit cards, thousands of dollars, phones. What's next? It's all right here. Just right here. You work at this installation now.
For you, Timmy.
Yeah. Just work at this outpost 400 miles away from any border. Yeah, just work here.
What's the channel name? The channel name was News Now Houston. Major update. Mayor and cop quit over dog shooting and national outrage. Here's the deal channel. Carl Lentz, how a man deals with legal society, court, government, securing the bond. When good cops stand up to corrupt cops. We got a Judge Simpson Zoom court. What do you want, Timmy? Where do you want to take this? North Korea sends excrement balloons over to South. That sounds kind of interesting. Let's watch that. Let's watch that. I need some of that.
Let's keep it light.
Yeah.
Carrying trash
A good vibe. Good slave vibe.
to South Korea on
Nothing
Wednesday.
like excrement
Kim
balloons
Yo-jong,
for
the
a
sister
summer
of a
party,
North Korean
BBQ
leader,
party
said
out
the
back.
balloons were gifts
Water
of
balloons,
sincerity
excrement
for
balloons, a
South
little
Koreans
grilling,
who,
huh?
quote, cry for freedom of expression. South Korean military's explosive ordnance unit and chemical and biological warfare response team were deployed to inspect and collect the objects. Residents like Lee Seung received an alert warning them to keep away and report any sightings to authorities.
의도적인 장소를 지정을 해서
It was so creepy and scary that the balloon might have fallen because North Korea might have had a specific target.
그게 만약에 진짜 오물이 아닌
Everyone was so scared at that moment.
I have enough to fear every day about nuclear war. Now I have to fear shit falling onto my head.
너무 소름이 끼쳐서
Oh, Tammy, you want to do the? He wants to do the dubbing.
Every day I am fear of our lives and shoot missile over and we all blow away. Now I have
As
to
you can
worry
see
about
here in a horrible
food.
country, thank you, ma'am, on the ground. As you can see here in a horrible country, there's bags of excrement, there's dried, burned up grass, excrement balloons. Right, this is pure insanity and slavery, okay? And it's nothing new, and of course, I'm your underground correspondent here. Back over to you, Tim, at the studio. Are you there? Are you getting these images? Hold on, satellite uplink.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm here. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so satellite uplink issues. Are you there? Are you getting these shots? We got the
Yeah,
extra.
these are
Take off
amazing.
the excrement balloons right there. Are you seeing this, Tim?
Incredible.
In the studio?
Incredible.
Now, what do you make of
Well,
this? What's the what do you think this is really like for? What, are they sending a message
don't
here?
know.
Is this some kind of a? Seems to be some leaflets there. Did you get a card on what's on the leaflets? What that says? Did we get a translation there?
Yeah. I think they're radio in to me right now. Someone's translating. It says you're all slaves, actually, from the North Korean leader. He's gaslighting once again, telling everyone that they're the slaves when it's clear that he's the big bad slave master.
Right, I have that right here. Thank you, Tim. I just got the facts over. It's good stuff. You're all slaves, excrement balloons, the whole thing. Sounds like something that Paul Enslaved guy would do. That stops at terrorist, disgusting, obese creature. Yeah, sounds like something he would do. It seems like him and that Kim Jong-un fellow would really get along. All right, back to Joe Moore. Joe Moore with weather. Joe, you got something down there? Got some weather? Weathery?
They quit manipulating the weather here on Michigan lately. There's no chemtrails to be seen. So I don't know how well my reception is, but yeah.
Great stuff,
There's
Joe
no
Moore.
chemtrails
Back to you, Tim.
on Michigan.
Yeah, the weather report. Fuck the weather. How about the slavery report? The slave report up in Michigan is real bad. You got folks out here that are just ultra slaves. They just buy into everything. Or you've got the complete opposite, which is the complete obstinate, dishonorable. Everyone's out to get me. There's no chemtrails up here today. Ooh, having a little gay affect there. So it's complete slavery in both senses. Just complete polarization on all aspects, sir. Back to you.
Absolutely, Tim. You know, these citizens are regular space cadets, and this U.S. corporation has become a regular junkyard. Speaking of which, space junk. How about that segue? Fell on a Canadian farm, and SpaceX wants it back. But who's liable? Space junk falling from the sky on a slave's head. Who cares? It's profitable. We need our Elon internet. We need our slave link, people.
When you call something space junk,
8G.
everybody thinks you're a little nuts.
Sending grandma pictures of my genitals
or debris
for the
is
holidays
exactly what
over the
Saskatchewan farmer Barry
8G.
Sawchuk
I'm
found
descending
last
into
month.
madness.
He found the debris while checking his fields northwest of Regina.
You know, we're a quarter mile away or something.
Northwest of Regina?
Garbage, and,
That's where Brian O'Shea is living.
What is it? It's not garbage.
Photos of
It's way far northwest of Regina. So far, I can't even see it.
Determined the junk was likely linked to a
Couldn't see it
SpaceX
from
Dragon spacecraft that returned to Earth in
Timmy,
February.
please.
This is
Don't laugh
not
at that.
uncommon.
You're encouraging my bad
and as we
behavior.
launch more and more stuff, these reentries, hitting stuff on the ground is going to become more and more common.
Global News reached out to SpaceX about the debris, but did not hear back by deadline. However, Sawchuk says the company has since been in touch.
They said there's some compensation. We don't know. We haven't set a number yet.
That's actually my neighbor's
Space debris
hot
has
tub.
fallen to Earth before, including farmland in Australia in 2022 and through a home in Florida this past March, prompting experts to urge action.
But what if this had landed in Regina or Toronto, right? Like
Oh,
this
easy,
would
lady.
have killed people for sure.
So who is liable? According to the Outer Space Treaty, the country where the object comes from is responsible.
The United States is liable for damage caused by Americans.
We should get this guy in the panel.
Companies.
A space
That
law
treaty was
expert.
originally established in the
Oh my God.
1960s, but Cheney points to other initiatives already being developed, but added pressure will still be needed to make things better before they get worse.
If this happened, crashed into the streets of
This is
a major
egghead.
city, the story could be very different.
In the meantime, Sawchuk says whatever money he does get will go
Back
towards
to
the
you,
skating rink for
Humpty.
Canadian Humpty.
Yeah, what's Canada doing, man? Like, they got cameras from the 90s. It looked like one of those NPR things from the 90s with the grain and everything. Had that all my children look, you know? And then, like, every commentator's unattractive. Like, Canada has unattractive commentators. They're like 20 years behind everyone else and everything. They don't even know what a satellite is. Like, what is this crap? Where is it coming from? You're liable. We don't want anything to do with this. They're stuck in the best time ever, right? They're stuck when everything was like right before everything got really bad. Unattractive commentators and Hollywood people, real grainy, kind of nostalgic VHS kind of vibe and feel. You know, like that Who's the Boss kind of vibe and feel. Family Matters, that whole thing. Yeah, Canada might actually be like where we need to go to get back to where we once belong. I don't know. What the fuck am I talking about? Jefferson Man Tits, are you back? Is the signal good? What's going on, man? Help me out.
All right, wait 10
I hope
seconds
this-
and he'll reply.
Great stuff. All right, yeah, not gonna work. Okay. Carl Lentz, Timmy. No, major update. Let's do Here's the Deal, Why Not? He covered me, I'll cover him. It's mutually beneficial interests, and of course the content is what it is. So, you know, whether it benefits me or him or I, or regardless, it's still, I guess, interesting, fascinating, scary, maybe even. So mayor and cop quit over the dog shooting and national outrage. Let's go to that. Let's see what your boy Brian. Remember when Zach Hubbard came up? He was worried about Brian.
If your dog is lost,
Brian
one of
doing?
the best things you can do for him if you ever want to
Walking
see
his
him,
dog, I guess.
not call the police. We have an upsetting update on the video
On
going
the chat.
viral where a Sturgeon, Missouri cop decided it would be a good idea to take out his gun, shoot twice, and kill a blind, deaf, and harmless 13-pound Shih Tzu mix. This is Teddy. This is Officer Myron Woodson. Woodson is alive. Teddy is not. But Teddy isn't dead because he was being a bad animal. He's dead because he encountered a bad cop, what some would call and have called a psychopathic, uncaring cop. Let's get up to speed with the story.
Looks like Snafu a bit.
Nick Hunter, Teddy's owner, shared this video showing him confronting the Sturgeon police officer who shot his dog.
I see a dog
that is walking around blindly. I don't know the dog's blind.
In the video, the officer claims the dog appeared to be sick.
So you're putting it out of misery. What else am I supposed to do? We don't have a freaking animal. Like every.
The officer apologized to Hunter.
I don't enjoy shooting dogs.
The only problem is that not many people seem to be believing Myron Woodson. Many believe, and with good reason, that Sturgeon, Missouri, with a population of around 900, would be much better off and much safer without Woodson walking around with a gun and qualified immunity. If you look at the original unedited body cam footage, from the time Woodson directly encountered Teddy, making a half-hearted effort to capture him, until he pulled the trigger the first time, no more than 3 minutes and 15 seconds had elapsed. 6 seconds later, Woodson fired a second shot. Now, the excuse Officer Woodson used was that he thought Teddy had a medical issue and implied that he may have been hit by a car. There appears to be absolutely no indication of that in the video. I'll leave the link in the description so you can watch it for yourself. Woodson says he felt like he had to do it.
I'm sorry, I had to do it.
As in, he was left with no other choice. I mean, what else could he do, right?
I'm not saying you're a bad owner. You don't see me writing a citation for a dog at large, do you? I'm not. It's a situation, buddy. I'm with you.
Gaslighting.
What authority? I went and spoke to a dog I thought had a medical issue.
By rules and regulations.
Dude, how was I supposed to know the dog to get hit by a car?
I lived by rules and regulations for 12 years.
How did I know the dog to get hit by a car? How did I know the dog to get hit by a car? I'm not saying you was a bad dog owner. I'm saying I have information I have it on hand. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sorry it happened to you. I'm sorry I had to do it.
But many Sturgeon residents have taken to social media to say they're scared.
Angry, sick. I couldn't, oh my God, I couldn't handle it. My dogs are my life.
There was one comment that a lady, she's terrified for her kids to be playing outside because if he discharged that firearm, what if he didn't hit it and it ricocheted and it hit a child? Is it going to be, oh, I'm sorry? Like, no, it's not okay. It's just not.
Regina Adams Miller says she often saw the blind and deaf Shih Tzu in the neighborhood.
We have all seen that little dog. His name is Teddy. We've all seen him running around town, and he's not rabid at all.
The person who called Boone County Joint Communications, who wants to remain anonymous, wrote to the city saying the dog was not a threat. Adams Miller says Hunter is heartbroken.
When I talked to him last night, he's barely able to speak. He's crying. He's in tears. He's shaking and nervous.
A petition is now circulating asking for the officer's removal from service.
The petition, which had a couple thousand signatures just a few days ago to address Officer Woodson's animal cruelty, is now closing in on 35,000 signatures as of the recording of this video. And there are 3 new updates on this page. Update: as of today, May 25th, 2024, the mayor of Sturgeon, Missouri has resigned. You're making a difference. Update number 2, we're gaining a lot of ground, including interviews with 2 local news stations as well as 1 national. And then the last update, Officer Woodson has also resigned. We aren't done yet. After the shooting, the city of Sturgeon posted a lie in addressing this crime, saying, on May 19th, 2024, the Sturgeon Police Department received a call out for an injured animal at large. An officer with SPD arrived and located the animal. The SPD officer immediately noticed the dog was behaving strangely and displayed signs of possible injuries or what the officer perceived to be rabid behavior. The SPD officer also noticed the animal did not have a collar or tags. The SPD officer made numerous attempts to capture the dog using a catch pole. Based on the behavior exhibited by the dog, believing the dog to be severely injured or infected with rabies, and as the officer feared being bitten,
kind of like a COVID zombie slave.
Rabies, the SPD officer felt that his only option was to put the animal down. Watch this video that I have linked in the description, and you tell me if what they said there was true or a lie. They say it was learned later that the animal's behavior was because the animal was blind. Unfortunately, the animal's lack of a collar or tags influenced the SPD officer's decision to put the animal down due to his belief that the animal was injured, sick, and abandoned. I'll tell you what's sick and should be abandoned, but I think you already know. 3 days ago, they posted an update saying the city has reviewed the dispatch report and body camera footage regarding the recent dog at large incident.
Right now, every time you want to decode this, all you have to do is just put it back on what they're doing. So he said the tiny dog was rabid, damaged, and abandoned. That's him. The officer. The officer is suffering from lack, loss, abandonment issues. He's broken and he's rabid. Right? Everything they say, just like with me the other day, everything they say that the animal or me is doing is exactly what they're doing. Right? And that's their game. They go, we just say you're doing what we're doing. That gives us the grounds to do harm to you. You're completely sociopathic and psychopathic, and you project in order to bring consequences that you believe is your role here to do. Completely demonically possessed and deceived by yourselves before you try to deceive others. It is fascinating.
And then,
the inversion mirror therapy land.
And then it's amazing that even after this video, it's clear as day. These motherfuckers will always double down and back up the action, and say he was completely in his right and authority. Like what? What the fuck? Just say, look, we fucked up. We fucked up.
There's no
the chief should
accountability.
come out and say,
That's
look,
the
it
point.
shouldn't have happened.
No.
That can never
you
fucking
have to
happen.
Gaslight. You have to gaslight. Once it comes to the forefront, instead of saying we fucked up, we did wrong, you got to carry it out to the end. It was the rabid, crazy dog. You saw it. Put everyone in fear. They're getting so ridiculous and out of control now that they're putting themselves on record of calling the dog everything that they are in order to justify killing it. What's the difference in what they do with the dog to the people? They just say the people are doing whatever it is they're doing in order to justify killing everyone. That's you. Amazing. Carl Lentz had to deal with how a man deals with the legal society court government securing the bond. We'll play it for a little bit. If you get bored, Tim, let me know. If you want to comment, holler out. I'll stop it.
All right.
Keep a read on the audience. Let me know. I'm going to take a few hits of reefer in the meantime.
Before we start it. Yeah, before we start, just a quick comment. Like the 35,000 slaves will fucking sign a petition, right? Like it's probably a town of 40,000, right? They're gonna sign a fucking petition, and then I'm gonna go and get my 3 minutes at the local town, and then the mayor resign. Okay, great. Like, can y'all get down to the core of the issue? Are you gonna retrain the police in your town? Are you gonna make a new mayor? Are you gonna have the sheriff? Like, are you gonna get to the core issue? Probably not, right? It's never going to really get to the core issue. Hey, we got a big problem here. Let's solve it. One of you men that lives there, if you're hearing this, you might want to solve the problem. It's a deeper core issue, and everyone's involved. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they think it's about being able to continue to do business. If they don't have to deal with any commercial liabilities, then who cares, right? It's the essence of a godless culture in society. They think, well, if we could just keep doing business as always, no matter what we do, if we can get away with it or explain it away, then there is no consequence. There is. Once you become godless and faithless and break the trust and continue business as usual, you destroy yourself and everyone else, whether you know it or not. But good luck trying to teach a faithless, infidel, demonic scum who has little to no self-awareness, empathy, or awareness of others, how to do right and be right and achieve something in this life, including actualization and realization, first and foremost. Good luck. You know, all they see is dollar signs, and all they feel is that rush of power and control and domination. They don't know anything else. You know, they don't know anything else to live for. So I suspect the universe has a plan for everybody. It's going to get everybody right here shortly. Give it about 4 to 6 years max. I mean, they just apparently convicted your boy Donnie. He's probably not going to be running for president. See, I was wondering where this was all going, right? When they play these games and drag them out and get everybody to look at it and talk about it, I know, oh, here we go. They're up to a psyop. So, you know, maybe we convict Donnie, we put him in jail, never before seen. We get outrage everywhere. You know, he's not able to run for president. Maybe they get Joey to like do another 4 years or whatever. Who knows? Then they just do Civil War, World War, banking collapse. You know, they're setting it up. They're setting up the fucking Some folks might say, I wouldn't say that. I'm not in the game of theorizing. You know, I don't like conspiracy theory, none of that. It's crazy. It's wild. But some folks might say they're setting up the deck right now. They're shuffling. They're doing the hidden shuffle. Whereas they're shuffling, they're kind of setting the deck up to like deal from the bottom and, you know, get everything where it needs to be. You can kind of feel it. Some might say in the air. I wouldn't say that, but some might say you can feel it in the ether. You can see it playing out. I'm sure it's all coincidence, right? It's all randomness. It's all coincidence. Yeah. Nothing's organized. Nothing's really connected. It's all just kind of like a rock floating in space, randomly adapting. Interesting.
Yeah, it's all random.
Yeah. White House reacts to Trump demanding Biden take a drug test before debate. But Biden's like high. He's doing heroin. Oh, you know what? I said I'm going to go to the Lentz thing. That's where I want to go. Fuck this breaking slave news. I've been tired of it the last couple months. I barely get to any of it.
Kent Holbein is who I'm talking about. And what he is he's an evangelist, if you would, you know, for creation and stuff like that, telling how, you know, God created the world and things like that. He had his own talk show. He had his own ministry. And through his ministry, he had trustees doing all the taxes and things like that. And he is not a tax protest or anything like that. So he wanted to make sure everything is done legally and lawfully. And it was done legally and lawfully up until supposedly about 2003. And then some other guy took over as a trustee or something like that. And they did the same. Everything this guy was trying to do was legally and lawfully. And when they came after him, they came naturally with the codes, and he knew the codes enough in court to say, you know, show me the law that I broke. The codes that you're using don't show, because he's a minister and all that stuff, that he's done anything unlawful or anything like that. So he went through the whole trial of trying to say what you say. Show me the law, please. Show me the law. If I owe a debt, I'll gladly pay it.
Yeah, no,
I'm not sure.
Like I said, I don't say show me the law, show me the law. I say, yeah, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of your law. Your law, not my law. Your law. I'm sure I'm guilty of your law. The only problem is that I live in a common law land, and I'm going to require you to put a man on that stand to testify that I owe a debt, that I'm guilty of anything. I'll agree that I owe a debt if you show me the bill, if you show me the man, if the man comes forward and makes the claim true. I'll pay it. If you say I owe a debt, you say I owe a debt, and look over the prosecutor, you say I owe a debt? Yes, then take the stand.
Correct.
Well, take the stand. Well, are you saying I owe you the debt? Well, no. Well, then who do I owe? The United States government. Will the United States government take the stand? Well, no. Well, then you know what? You call me up when they're ready to take the stand and testify that the debt is true. Okay? And then I'll pay it. I got the checkbook right here. I got the money in my hand. But somebody's going to have to verify that it's true. I'm not just going to pay because you said so.
That's right. And I'm not sure exactly how he put that. When
I guarantee he didn't say exactly what I said. Yeah, I'm guilty.
No, I don't think he said that.
Right. I guarantee I owe a debt. I guarantee I owe many debts.
Exactly.
Who wants me to pay the debt off first? I guarantee I owe dozens of millions or trillions of debt. Yeah, but who's claiming I owe the debt?
That's right, and that's exactly what he was saying in the court.
He didn't do it. Dude, he didn't say that. He said he's not guilty. Well, he says okay, look, I tried to say last week on a show, the word for debt and guilt is the same word in German. So if you tell me I'm guilty, yeah, I am. I'm sure I am. I'm sure I owe debts. There's no doubt about it. I'm sure there's dozens of outstanding, trillions of outstanding debts that I owe mankind throughout the world for services or products that were delivered to me, and I didn't give them a fair and just compensation yet. Fine. Not a problem. Where is the man that's going to come forward and say, I failed to pay him, 22 years ago because he gave me air in my car tire? Exactly. Bring it forward and I'll pay him.
And this is what I try to explain. So there's a man called Ernie Land that is doing his, if you will call it, defense, because he's in jail now. And that's what I tried to explain to this guy was, is this what was said in court? Is this what, and he's like, well, we used every defense we possibly could, blah, 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 and nothing seems to work.
Dude, there is no defense against the IRS.
Correct.
That's their case.
That's what I was trying to explain to him.
If you go into an IRS court and they call you defendant, you ain't got a defense. You got no standing. You got no say. You got nothing. If you guys don't ancient, it's just simple. Like, let's not go back, tens of that. Let's just go back to Roman law. A debtor has no standing in court. A debtor has no voice. A debtor has no say so. All a debtor needs to say is, I am a debtor. Can all the creditors come forward so I can pay the debts? That's all.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
you can't argue with the creditor. Just bring the damn bill and swear that it's true. And I'll
No,
pay
I'm not
it,
sure.
because no creditor will ever be dishonorable and bring forth a claim that that's true. Because he knows what's going to happen if he brings forth a false claim. He's going to be beheaded. He will die today.
That's right.
And that's
Exactly
the way
right.
it should be. That's the way it's been since mankind began. You bring a false claim into the public. You bear false witness against thy brother. You die.
That's right.
That's
Exactly
right.
right.
It's the law. That's right. He has no defense in a debtor credit court. He don't. Just tell the guy, good. You know what? Bring it forward and I'll pay it. I didn't know I owed him. All he had to do was send me the bill and swear that it's true, and I would have fucking paid him.
And
So
from what I gather,
the party did not do that.
well, that's what I'm going to say. There's a tape interview that he did with some guy from Forbes magazine called Peter Riley. And if you Google it, Forbes.com, Peter Riley interview with Kent Hovind, in that Kent goes through his whole case as to what they did in court and what he said and stuff like that. So
What I do in court, dude, what I do in court, my interview would take about 14 seconds.
Exactly.
That's what I did. Well, what else did you do? Nothing. I gave him a notice, put about, 11, 12 words on it. And the judge said, how do you plead? I think I got the notice before the court. Everything I need to say is in writing. It's there before the court. I'm just waiting for the man to come forth with the fucking bill. What? It's in writing, Your Honor. If you need leave of court to get legal lawful advice, if you need to take a leave of court so you could understand that notice, will take as long as you require, Your Honor. But until then, I've got nothing else to say. You know what? It's all there in front of the court at this time. I'm done. Well, then my interview would be so short, it would be the most boring effing radio, TV interview on planet Earth. Well, then what happened in court? Nothing. Well, what did they do? I don't know. They went off for fucking 3 or 4 or 5 fucking weeks about some crazy shit. I don't have a fucking clue. Well, then when it was your turn to talk, what'd you do? I said, please refer back to the notice that I gave you folks 60 days ago.
yes.
That's all I got to say. There's nothing else to see. Oh, I guarantee you said, well, then we did this, and we said this, and we did this, and we put a motion, we put evidence and witnesses on the stand, and I'll bring forth the law that's true. Oh, it's crazy shit.
I'm sure that's what happened. I'm not sure exactly because it was almost 10 years ago.
Why would I want to watch the video of a man drowning?
Well, because maybe he gets some information is exactly what happened.
To learn what not to do.
No, because as we all know, we go into court and not having, like I said, the expertise that you have. He even said this in his interview that that's what they do. They wait for you to say a word, and you can say the wrong word, and that's the next thing you know, you're sitting in jail. So I'm not sure exactly if that's what happened to him, but the fact is now that they're trying to come after him again, and I've tried to get hold of this guy that's supposedly his friend or whatever to get a contact with you, so you might be able to send to him.
Like I said, I just saw somebody with an IRS case up there in New England. And I told the guy, you're going to go to jail. He's like, what? Because you won't stop talking. You put the notice before the court. They notice it, then they read the notice out into the open court, and you sit back and do nothing. And that's it. Was anything you say is going to be used against you. So why are you speaking for again? What's the purpose of you opening your mouth? Tell me.
To get yourself in trouble. That's about it.
Yeah. Just put the damn notice in and let it ride.
All right.
How tough is this? But no, you guys are so freaking smart. You're too smart for your own good. And that's the problem. He's so fucking brilliant. He's so smart. He's so educated. He's so learned. He won't shut the fuck up. And a smart man knows the best thing to do sometimes in life is to do nothing.
That's true.
Yeah. Sometimes the best hand in life is the empty hand. You know where I got that from? Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah.
Paul Newman. When he bluffed him in a game of cards. Sometimes the best hand is the empty hand.
Yep.
That's right. I don't need anything. I don't need anything. There's nothing for me to say. There's nothing for me to do. You need to prove your case. You just need to bring the man forward and stand on that damn witness stand and say that I owe him a damn debt, and I'll pay him every fucking dime I owe him.
Yep, and I agree with you. And like I said, I had sent basically what you told me to this Ernie Land guy. But I don't know, because he's been fighting for so long. Like, this guy thinks he knows too much or whatever, like you were saying, and doesn't want to listen. But it's like, dude, you got to go simple. You know, you don't need nothing, nothing big, nothing, a couple sentences here and there. But like I said, he wants to talk to a man that's had success. I'm like, well, I'm in the middle of something. I'm not having success yet because it's not over. But you know what? This is the most successful way I've ever heard. And I've gone through all the other crap of, Rod Class and all these other guys that are, teaching this, that, and the other thing. And what you came out with the other day about the Ohio case, where the judge said, you're not a bar member, so it doesn't matter what you put in, don't work.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Larry sent that to me. I mean, if you go to broadmind.org,
yeah,
I just put that on the webpage. It's the very first thing when they click on the webpage. I highlighted it in yellow.
Oh, that's awesome.
And what I thought was amazing, the ruling from the court. I have never seen a ruling from the court, and every single word is in uppercase.
Wow.
Yeah,
that
so
is
nothing.
great.
Yeah, so nothing's there.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That is,
I thought that was funny that every single word in that ruling was in uppercase. I never seen a ruling that was all in uppercase.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah.
That is really strange.
So like I said, and I highlighted it so people don't have to try to read. It's only one paragraph. Instead of people trying to find out, what Larry was talking about, I highlighted it in yellow. So you just go click right to the website, boom, go right to it, boom. And it's there.
No, that's awesome, because I was one of those guys that used to write pages and pages of stuff in there and put every tiny little thing in detail and stuff like that, and then have it rejected. And there's your reason, just like you were saying. Here's this lady who probably knew every law and trick in the book and put the best paper together.
You know why that's wonderful that they rejected her?
It's now we all know.
Okay, there are two good reasons why. One, it's going to stop people from arguing with me and saying, look, well, you follow their rules, you do it's like, what's that guy in Florida that has that website? He's an attorney, and he tries to do pro se litigants, and he tries to help people. And I got this mass email for this guy for the longest effing time.
Yeah.
And you know who I'm talking about?
Dr. Graves.
I can't think of his name, but I do know who you're talking about.
Do you know who it is, Larry? What's that?
Dr. Graves, Jurisdictionary.
Jurisdictionary. That's okay. He tries to convince everybody he does everything with these ridiculous follow the attorney steps. Do it this way. Do this, this. Okay, the reason why I loved what this judge said is because when I heard, there was this other guy, Cornforth, somebody Cornforth.
Yeah, listen, Cornforth, yeah.
Okay, he always uses Trinzi versus Pagliaro.
Yes.
Now, Trinzi versus Pagliaro was a little ridiculous case in either South Dakota or North Dakota, like back in 1962, 64, or something like that.
The land thing or something, right?
What's that?
It was something to do with land or something?
Right. It never made it to the United States Supreme Court. But it said something about, I'm trying to remember how Richard brought it forth. And it says absolutely nothing like that in the opinion. Not even freaking close.
Oh yeah, he brought forth that it was something to do with what was it? Not the plaintiff not appearing, but it was something like that they had to have.
I got what Richard used to say. Here you go. The Federal Supplemental 1964 22 229 F period supplemental period 647 1964. United States District Court. Oh, here you go. United States District Court of Pennsylvania. So, I mean, I downloaded and I read the whole damn thing. And it's just not that much to it.
Yeah.
It goes from page 648 to page 649 in the supplemental.
Oh, wow, there's big.
Well, no, it's just 2 pages.
Oh,
648 to 649. It's tiny. And like I said, it's the defendant's motion dismissed for failure to state a claim unsupported by affidavits or depositions incomplete because it requests this court to consider facts outside the record which has not been presented in the form required by Rule 12b-6 or Rule 56c. Statements of counsel in their briefs and argument, while enlightening to the court, are not sufficient for purpose of granting a motion to dismiss of summary judgment. So when he... Oh, shit, my phone could die. Wait a second. Like I said, this is following, like I said, when you use, okay, like I said, like when you see that,
Trinsley?
No, even if it's Trinsley versus Pagliaro, it could be the best citation that's going to support your case on planet Earth. It's the best that you could possibly find. Say it's the best one in the world. The only problem is you are going to put it into their case file, their suitcase. You're going to try to stack your crap into their suitcase. The only problem with that is they're going to do like Larry sent the letter back saying, you know what? You gave a lot of wonderful legal conclusions. You made a lot of legal, you brought a lot of citations. What I'm trying to say is, like, they say Trinsley versus Pagliaro in 1965 doesn't support unsupported fact, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. The only problem with that is, if you're not a code decipher, if the state doesn't recognize you, is that you went to law school, and that when you put it on paper, it is 100% accurate. See, because what I was saying, Trinsley versus Pagliaro instead of Pagliaro. What I was Pagliaro instead of Pagliaro. They're going to say, you know what? Because in good law, if there's one mistake on that paper, that whole piece of paper gets thrown out. Right. If you one error. So what they're trying to say to normal people who do not have a bar card or not licensed through the state or whatever, they're trying to say to you, look, even though it sounds great what you're putting before us, when it's submitted by an attorney, we believe them at face value. We totally believe they researched it. It's accurate. It's honorable. They're not putting something in there that to be deceptive. When you like, did you people? Oh, what was that Robin Williams movie with that guy? And the guy was up in Massachusetts area. It was I don't remember the guy's name. It was
funny that North Russia is melting and the United States is freezing. Isn't that weird?
Somebody's background. I can't hear somebody talking in the background, but what I'm saying it wasn't Goodwill Hunting or Good Hunting something or Will Hunting.
Oh, Goodwill Hunting. I don't know if it was in there, but
yeah. But what I'm saying, it was a Robin Williams movie with that I'm trying to remember the other guy's name.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. When this guy was supposed to be a brilliant math kid.
Oh yeah. He was the janitor or something like that, doing math problems.
Yeah. Right. So what was funny is the kid came into an open court and tried to dazzle the judge with bullshit citations and case law and rulings, and the kid was just making it up off the top of his head.
Wow.
If you watch the movie, you watch the very beginning. You don't have to watch the whole movie, but just watch the very beginning when Matt Damon starts citing ridiculous cases off the top of his head in open court. And he said, like John Doe versus Smith, 1964, with the Supreme Court clearly ruled that blah, 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 blah. You know, the Massachusetts Supreme Court ruled in 1989, Sam versus Spade, section 372, page citation, clearly stipulates that da-da-da-da-da. So the judge, like I said, the kid, when he walked out of the courtroom after the judge dismissed it or whatever based on the citations and crap he used, and the guy said, none of those citations exist. That's all bullshit. He says, yeah, I just make the shit up as I go along, but don't it sound good? It got me out of this fucking building. So what I'm saying, a real lawyer would never do that. He would actually put down legitimate, bona fide, real, true cases because he swore to be honorable. He went to law school. He's got the ability to actually, I'm trying to remember that blue book that they use, blue something they call it. they actually find the newest, latest, greatest citations and codes. So they actually do the homework and actually do, but like I said, a Joe Average, like who was putting it in that state of Ohio case, she could have been making this shit up just to make her paperwork look awesome. It's like, holy, what does this actually literally say? What does it read? And it's like, holy cow, that's great. It's like, did a lawyer submit this? It's like, no. Matt Damon submitted it. Holy crap. Who submitted this? Matt Damon. Oh, shit. And so we actually got to read, Hale versus Hinkle 1902, or we actually got to read Trinity versus Pagliaro. We really got to go back and read this stuff and see, like, where was it? It was in the United States District Court. You mean it's not from the United States Supreme Court ruling? No. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, the only problem in 1964, there might have been 18,012 similar cases throughout the United States District Courts, and that might be the only one that went that way in favor of the plaintiff, favor of the defendant, whichever way it went. The other 18,312 went the other way. So are you telling me you picked a little district court out in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, over some land boundary or deed or some whatever the hell they were arguing about? Are you telling me that this has something to do with the case that's before this court at this time? Are we talking about a land case? What are we talking about?
Exactly.
And it's like, well, right.
And then you say, especially if you're in research and you don't know.
Right. Or you're just putting these legal conclusions, and like I said, and you like I say, especially when I read it from the prosecuting attorney and the state attorney, the actual attorney general of Texas. His name was Hernandez, or I think it was Hernandez. When they didn't, somebody named Fox, I don't know, it was Michael Fox, Jim Fox, James Fox, somebody down there in Texas got arrested for doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So basically, the attorney general said, look, you pro se people, you common people did it to yourselves. Because back in the 1960s, you guys started leaning up all the judges because you got decisions that you didn't like. In the 1970s, you guys started writing all kinds of site drafts, buying all kinds of shit based upon your birth certificate numbers. So you people basically did it to yourselves. Now the court clerks won't take any shit from you people anymore. We won't accept your motions, your petition. We're not going to accept anything from you people anymore because you people did it to yourselves. You clogged up this court system back in the 60s. You clogged it up in the 70s. We're tired of your crazy bullshit. And you know what? The only way we're going to accept the paperwork is through an attorney.
Yeah.
So I'm like, good. God bless them. That's what they should do, because this stuff, when you read from the Attorney General's opinion, he said this is the most, like I said, I actually got involved with one of the people down there. He was from El Paso. I can't remember the guy's, I'll remember his name in a little while, but I talked to him a long time. And he was the reclamator. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Tom Murphy. He was from El Paso. And he sent me this tripe, this claptrap crap that they put into the court for this guy's James Fox behalf, or Jim Fox, whatever his name is, Fox behalf. And I said to him, look, let me go through this, and I'll redact everything that's not required for you to say, and I'll try to explain what I did. I think I worked on it. He sent it to me like at midnight, and I think I worked on it till like 2, 3 o'clock the next afternoon, just out of kindness. Because so many people were saying, you've got to help this guy. I redacted almost every single thing that, other than, the man's name was, he's saying like he was somewhere along it, he said, the word man, Jim Fox. And I said, I redacted everything else. And I explained why he was losing jurisdiction over to the government if he left these words in, the words that he used, how he was losing jurisdiction over his case. If he wanted to put a case in, you're losing jurisdiction over them by using these words in this form. And I explained it in great detail. And I said, Tom, it took me like 18 hours to do the first paragraph. I'm not going to do the other 6,812 paragraphs. This is insane. So it's so funny when Attorney General down here in Texas wrote back. And he wrote back, and I got the email from him as well. And it said this was the most nauseating ridiculous, like claptrap, he's ever read in his life, because he had so many jurisdictional shifts just in the first paragraph alone. I couldn't figure out which way this guy was going with this case. And I said, look, Tom, this guy was at his court, then it was in the U.S. court, then it's a Texas court, now it's back to his court. I said, dude, when you're really reading this stuff and you know what you're reading, it's nauseating. It's like listening to a train wreck, but it's just saying this is a song, this is a music sheet, this is a composition. Dude, this is a train wreck. Like when I went over to England, Bali gave me the paperwork for his next door neighbor, a farmer who was being ordered by the county, well, it's called councils over there, to do certain improvements on his land. So Bali gave me the paperwork, and I gave it to Bali and said, did you read this? And he's like, yeah. I said, okay, do you understand what it says? So Bali read it. And he's like, okay. And he was done in about, 22 seconds. So then Bali gave it to me, and I'm standing there reading it. And about 15 minutes went by, and Bali's like, Carl? Like, are you still with me? Carl, are you reading this thing? Carl, I said to him, I haven't been able to get past the first sentence. He's like, what? I'm trying to figure out how they're going to establish jurisdiction. The way they wrote this first sentence, they're never claiming jurisdiction over the man. They're not ordering this man to do a damn thing, and it's totally voluntary. I'm trying to see where you believe that they are telling him to do something. It's not here. I said, I'm looking at the first sentence. I don't need to go any further, because it says right here it's voluntary. And I'm saying I'm trying to read every single way into that first sentence where you could possibly believe that it's anything but voluntary compliance, because it doesn't exist. It's not here. The first sentence clearly says it's voluntary, but it doesn't use the word voluntary. It's the way they wrote it. It's the way they used uppercase, lowercase. It's totally up to him. Where do you believe in here that it says something to do with it? Well, look, right here it says it doesn't say that. Where do you think it says that? It's not there. And I said, you believe it's there, so you put it into reality. Nobody's telling this man to do a damn thing. He's like, but that's not what it says. It's like when you see like the Virginia codes when it comes to traffic, like all persons shall have a driver's license. That means sometimes in the future, when the government has control over persons shall have driver's license. But until then, if you're a man, shall doesn't exist for you. And when I got stopped by a state trooper a couple of years ago, I said to him, I was driving my sister's van, and the registration expired, and I just got back from England, and it expired in December, and it was January. And the man said to me, I said, I shall get it registered. He said, well, then I shall return the citation. And then when I said to him, I said, you do know what the word shall means, right? He says, yeah, we taught that at the police academy. I said, what does it mean? He said, sometime in the future. So I said, I told you sometime in the future I'll go get this thing registered. He says, yeah, but they still told us, even though it says shall, and we don't have control over you people, we still have to issue citations. I said, do you realize who you just told that to? Do you realize you're telling me that you do not have the jurisdiction or the control or authority to issue me the citation, but you did it anyway? And he was like, stood silent, and he shut up. He's like, he's like, yeah, because you just told me this, even though we don't have control over man or what they do with their vehicles or their property, we still issue them citations so we can have some sort of control over man, because man believes it. Right. But if man just read the damn law, he'd see that we have absolutely no jurisdiction or control over his movements or his property. And I said to Bali, where do you believe it says anything on this piece of paper that the county, the council over here is commanding the man or ordering the man to do any damn thing with his property or the possessions upon it? He says, well, it doesn't say that.
And that's one of the biggest problems people have is reading and understanding and the punctuation and things like that, because that's what they like to do is throw that stuff at you. And, it's a piece of paper from some lawyer or some court, so they got to be important and they got to know and this, that, and the other thing. But
there's nobody's name on it. Nobody created this damn thing. Nobody's ordering you to do a damn thing.
That's right.
Rugby Borough Council is not a man. Rugby Borough Council doesn't have vocal cords. You believe that Rugby Borough Council county is telling you to do this. You believe it, so you make it true. You make it so. You fight and you are over something that doesn't even exist. Until you believe it exists and you believe it has power and control, you manifest it into existence, you asshole.
Yep.
Yeah, you're bringing it out of the second dimension and bringing it into the third dimension. It's just like those, trying to remember that guy Kramer, whatever the hell is the guy who makes all those Scissorhand movies, whatever it's called, Friday the 13th, whatever. You're taking it from fourth dimension and having an impact on the third. You're bringing it. You're manifesting it into existence. You're fucking believing in it. You believe it's true. You believe you're witnessing it. You believe it has an effect on you. You're letting the stupid letter affect your blood pressure. You're letting it. It's dilating your pupils. It's increasing your heart rate. You believe this piece of paper has some force and effect on your third dimension, on you. I can see it. You're sweating. You're palpitating. It's a piece of paper with hieroglyphics on it, with a picture on it. It's almost like porn or whatever. Like, what are you kidding me? It's a picture. Who cares? It's a picture. Well, this is very damaging. Dude, don't look at it. What does it have to do with you? Walk away. Oh, well, I have to do something about this. Dude, do what? Dude, it's a picture. It's like, dude, it's a dream. Get over it. It was a dream. It was a nightmare. Just get over it. Walk away. Forget about it. That's right. Bringing it into life. You know, and like I said, and I explained to people how to write back to whoever sent this thing. Like, IRS sent it to me. It's like, oh, okay, Mr. and Mrs. IRS, thank you for sending this lovely fucking correspondence, this letter. You know, how may I address you? Mr. and Mrs. IRS, how would you wish to be addressed? You know, I don't think we're formally introduced. Let me introduce myself. I'm a man. And who are you again?
Exactly.
Look, yeah, nice little simple howdy doody letters. Hey, how do you do, man? Lovely presentment. Lovely document. Lovely. But Mr. and Mrs. IRS, you know, I don't think we're properly introduced.
And that's what I tried to explain to this guy, this Ernie Land guy, was that's who you want to go after. But he came back and said, well, some lady did testify, you know, about this, that, and that, and the other thing. I said, some lady doesn't mean nothing. Did
you ask the judge, is she testifying? And he will tell you, no, she's not. Did you ask? Or do you think you just saw the woman testifying?
That's right. And I'm sure that was not done.
Did you ask the judge, is this woman testifying? Because when I went to court with my buddy not too long ago, I asked the judge a simple question. Because the bank's attorney was in the courtroom. I said, are you accepting testimony today? He said, absolutely not. And there you go. And I said, well, then, the bank proceed, and you proceed, and everybody proceeds all you want, and I'll just save this for circuit court upstairs. I said, am I in a court of record? He says, nope. I said, good. He said, I'm in Nisi Kriya's court, a court of nowhere. He said, that's right. So no testimony is given today? He said, that's right. So nobody's here? Nobody's here. So I said, you know I'm present here as a man. He said, you're not noticed. I said, well, there you go. Thank you. Well, there's nothing left for me to do. And he was being straight up honest. No, nobody's testifying today.
And they will be, you know, when you ask the right questions. They will be.
So like I said, you know what? I'll file a case and I'll move it upstairs where I can give testimony, and when I summon them to appear, they're going to have to testify as well. He said, absolutely. That's the way you do it. I said, okay, thank you. Yep. And that's what I said to my friend. I said, look, anytime you want me to move the case upstairs, I'll go get the president of the fucking bank, the man, the CEO, who's ever the controlling officer, who's ever in control of this little corporation, monster, fucking, I'll get him. I'm just to appear. Yep. And he could testify it's true or it's not true. Because it was a very simple thing. It just said that the bank was called the plaintiff. It said the plaintiff was at the auction and it was the highest bidder. And I got 5 human beings that, you know, that have no vested interest in the outcome who could swear in open court, because I walked around and I talked to the people at the auction. Look, if you bid on this man's house and you win, why don't you just let him stay, charge him $500, whatever, $1,000 a month, they'll pay you. I said, so if you want to bid on this house and you win. If you don't want to bid on it, that's fine. You know what? I'll bid on it and I'll let the guy just stay there. I'll be the winning bidder and I'll let the guy stay. So when they said, well, has anybody bid? And I said, yeah, I bid $1. And they said, well, that's not enough. I said, okay, well, how much is the starting bid at? They said $73,000. I said, you ain't going to get that in anybody's lifetime. That'll never happen.
Nope.
So obviously, when they put the paperwork into the court on line 7, it said the bank was the plaintiff was the highest bidder at the auction. And like I said, a case just like that got overturned down here when they said a couple of years ago the bank did the same stunt, and the husband and wife said no. There was no bank representative at the auction. There was no bank at the auction. We were the highest bidders at the auction. And the clerk of the county told me, he said a similar case happened like this a couple of years ago, and yes, they overturned it. Well, so I said to my buddy, well, anytime you want the sale overturned, you just let me know, and we'll file the paperwork and we'll do it. Awesome. Yeah. I said, but yeah, so like I said to him, just let me know. So like I said, here in Virginia, man, just like any place in Northeast, everybody's just battling to get out of their driveways and make it down the street.
Yeah, I saw you got nailed twice, didn't you? Like 12 inches once and another 15 or something on top of it?
Yeah, like now I'd say there's at least 15 inches or so far today.
Wow.
So
yeah, we've been lucky. We've been lucky all we got was cold.
Yeah, I could live with the cold, but the snow, it makes life tough. Because I want to fly out. I want to fly Washington State. I'm going to on the interstate. Hang on a second, man. I hear noise, man.
All right.
It's not on your end, right?
No.
Okay.
Sounds like someone's sending Morse code or beeping.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I got to shut any noise down and talk on down. But yeah, like I said to people earlier, I said, I'm sure this man doesn't have a lot of money for me to help him. I'm sure that, this guy just came out of jail and stuff like that.
Well, actually, what they've done to him is they're moving him around now a county jail because he was in a federal. They're moving him around in a county jail until this next trial comes up. As far as I know, the ministry, he still has it going through his son. So I believe they do have money. And I believe they would do anything as far as, anybody could help him to get out.
Yeah.
My son has had direct contact with Kent in prison through letters, and he's even given a number that you can call collect, whether or not, it's monitored or whatever. But, I believe his family was...
They're all bonded it.
Timmy, where do you want to go with this, man? You want to continue on here listening? You got something else that you want to talk about or maybe offer? What are you offering to this audience right now, Timmy?
Yeah, man, I like the simplicity part. I think that will fly over a lot of folks' head. But they're talking about the simplicity. Yeah, I mean, folks want to do the whole complicated thing, UCC 1, 2, 3, and all this bullshit. They were making a good point. He's saying, hey, it's all this complicated shit. They don't want to read that stuff. Like, we know, we can see who these people are, right? Like, you see the fat fucking miserable woman as the clerk. It's almost a requirement. Every court clerk on the nation or in the nation, like, you must, like, the requirements, you have
to be
like
obese. You have to be miserable. You have to have the Karen-esque spirit.
Yeah,
it's got to be there.
Do we really think that they're gonna read more than a page of anything anyway? Even if you're right, it's just like, the notice doesn't go back to some wizard in the back chambers, not the cancer wizard, cancer healed wizard.
Cancer wizard. Give him a mnemonic or cancer wizard. That's great. Oh my God. The morbidity on this broadcast, it's like new levels of morbidity. You gotta face death in this life to really live, and Timmy's gonna help you with that. Not cancer wizard, the wizard in the back who's gonna sit there with 1,000 pages and interpret. Go on, Timmy, continue. I love where you're taking this.
I can't get the image out of my head of his 3 minutes at fucking town court of fucking him slouching over the fucking podium and him doing his 1, 2, 3.
Did we watch that here? I don't remember. Watch. Do we watch that here?
I don't think so.
Well, where is it been? Why are you? You know what? This audience, man. It's time for some abuse. Let's go. Cuddle up to Papa. Get right around my feet by the fireplace because it's time for some abuse. Why is this audience so slacking lately? You used to harass me constantly, send me songs I didn't ask for, make songs about me, send me clips. I was never mean about that. I've even used them. Lately it's like they won't clip anything, they won't send anything, they're aware of shit, don't even tell me. You guys act like you're successful in doing other shit. You're not. So let's go, audience. Yeah, don't laugh at that. I'm being serious. Let's go, audience. You got Wizard at City Council. You got Talcott, too, had a second speech at council. I looked for it. I couldn't find. I got a lot to do, okay? I'm put upon. All right? I'm really important and I'm put upon. You guys hang out here all fucking day jerking off on YouTube. You can't get me the 3-minute fucking Talcott speech from City Council like we're not going to love to share. You know, you guys disgust me. Take over, Timmy. I'm done with these people. Sick of the disrespect in these communities.
Yeah, so folks, paging Cancer Wizard, please set forth your does anybody remember what the fucking Waterloo Town Hall or something? Does anybody come on, this is what you guys fucking do, you know, constantly. Come up with these clips like you there, DMT Extos. You can find clips pretty good.
Was he waving a shovel around as he was slouched over, giving his spiel?
Ah, man, see, I already found it. You guys are slow. Come on, man.
I didn't even know this was a thing. Is this recent or old?
1 month ago, sir.
Interesting. Thank you, sir.
All right, hang on. Yeah. Let me. Oh man, this is funny. Okay. Oh man, this is a different device. We gotta do this. All right, stand by. Yeah. So what I was saying is, like, it seems like I'm gonna type and I'm gonna type into this thing. Yeah, it seems like every court clerk, you know, has to be some fat obese Karen, you know, and y'all think that you can just put in some long complicated thing, you know, like the tribal creature will probably have like a fucking document like 30 pages long. The written word is the only thing. The spoken word flies, but the written word remains, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't think that these folks are not going to read that shit. So you might want to get down to the essence, you know, the few things that matter and uncomplicate everything.
So would that be like considered letter of the law along that line versus spirit of the law? Like,
I think so. Yeah, I mean,
okay, because that's just intuitively what it feels to me. And real quick, Timmy, I was just going to say, you know, with the whole, you know, paradoxical nature and dualistic nature of things, you know, I've seen people basically not argue for one or the other, but show the benefits of each one. And I guess it would come down to discernment of when you apply writing it down, you know, and they argue that it's dead, right? Once it's written down, you know, versus verbal communication, the benefits and disadvantages of each one, I guess, depending, you know, the circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, look, the spirit comes first, right? At the end of the day, in my understanding, the things on the paper, these pixels on the fucking screen we're looking at, these are like representations. It's like a representation in court or at court. Well, I guess you can't represent at court, right? Because that's at court is a common law court. So, but like the written word are these glyphs, right? Folks say, oh, graven images. Yeah, on some level. But if I'm sending a notice, in my understanding, if I'm sending a fucking notice to anyone before something's happening, it is like. It's not secondhand, but it is like secondary to me spiritually, internally, having that conviction. And whether I say it orally or if I say it on a paper and then hand it to you, right? Because maybe my vocal cords are fucked. So maybe I have to write it to a paper. That's still my spiritual initiative, right? So folks want to take like a template from someone else and then like inject it into the court and send it in the mail, and rely on that, right? And that's to me, that's a false idol. That's a graven image. That's that's not being the I am. If you have to look at another being and then take his words and then try to say that they're yours, that doesn't work.
That would be the this is instead of the I am. The this is. But yeah, order of operations is what that brings to my mind, which I believe we.
Yeah, to me, it's both. It's both, right? I have to be able to wield either tool essentially.
Yeah.
because I may be taken away, and then I don't have a pen and paper, and they may not want to give it to me. And so I still have to stand and be able to discuss and orally explain my notice, or press my notice, or press my conviction. And again, we act like the world doesn't exist without the paper. I mean, again, man to man, it's like this is happening every day. If somebody gets into your physical space too close, you're gonna know them. Yo, you got to back up. You're being weird, right? These are, you know, the nonverbal, and then you make it verbal, and then you're telling them. I don't need to write it on a paper and hand it to them, right? In that situation, it's ridiculous, right? Yo, Paul, your 3 minute. The guy didn't even take his 3 minutes. He was complaining about his 3 minutes. Under 2 minute. Waterloo. The presentation is in the back, sir.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll throw it out. Well, no, you could. It says the video isn't available anymore.
I'm looking at it. What the fuck, man?
Well, then pull it up on your end. Put it in the back. I mean, put it on the share.
All right, hang on. I don't know what's going on.
I snitched to my Father in heaven. That's me.
Stop doing DMT on panels, Christos. Not a good look.
Nah, man, I'm not doing that like I used to with Sovereign Soul Dave. Like my universal uncle at the time, right? Back when I was lost and confused. Back at We Are Asleep TV days. What a long way I've come.
That's also me. Ignore. I mean,
that did look like Snafu Snaps earlier. That was messed up.
I was trying to fucking. I don't know how this fucking streamer shit works. I was trying to put that picture next to the fucking video. Hang on. I'm a bit slow here. Hang on.
Remember we were having this happen last time with the theater mode or whatever Paul was asking for.
Yeah, getting fucking harassed. I was like, I'm not a full-time producer over here like some folks say they are.
Yeah, like Joe Rogan and Jamie or Lee Syatt.
Yeah, $100 million to do a bullshit presentation, right? Oh God, which tab? Okay, all right. Okay, all right, we're here and queer.
We got the footage.
At the stage. All right, look at me go here. Like I know how to. All right, theater mode. Default view. No, dude, what the fuck is going on? Full screen. Oh my God. Okay. All right, you guys ready? Here it is. Cancer Wizard himself. Oh Jesus.
My name's Keith, and I think it's paramount that everybody will understand that if you're going to continue with this budgeting system, based upon the people in your community that you depend upon to receive those very monies.
Why is you so low, man?
Yeah, it is quiet.
My specific issue is I wanted a meeting with the mayor, a private meeting. I called about 6 months ago.
I can't hear it.
In the office, and they assured me.
It sounds out.
Can you hear that, Christos?
It's very quiet. I have to turn it up loud.
Can the audience hear that? I guess that's what matters. Can you give me the word? Someone down there? Hello? Anyone there? Is this real?
Yeah, shit low.
I don't know how to make it loud. I can't make it louder. It's on max on the YouTube and on the computer.
Barely hear it here. All right, whatever, man. No. Shelly says no. All right, abandon ship. Give me the final word, Timmy. I'm out of here. Sick of the disrespect of Cancer Wizard too. That's the name you gave him, not me.
Oh man, the
so now these podcast bitches on the other side are saying they're going to drop the charge with the sheriff. I'm still going to sue them and the sheriffs, so it's really not going to matter. Great, drop the charges. Admit we never trespassed. So now I've double proof that it was never a trespass, and you know it wasn't. I'm going to turn right around and sue you anyway for making a false claim. Great.
All right, much love. Hopefully, folks repent within themselves, and maybe they'll do less slavery tomorrow. And sometimes folks may have to hold folks accountable and let them know, hey, stop doing slavery. Thank you. All right, see you next time.
Thank you, sir.
There's always nasty work to be done right around the corner. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, sir. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm calling it a success. Why the hell not? I'll be back, as always, tomorrow, somewhere between 12 and 3 MDT. Thank you to the contributors and supporters. You are angels. You're a blessing. We don't stop. We don't stop, world. I'm Paulie DeCastro. Ignore codes. That's my branding. Ignore codes. Law is better, right? So, yeah, Mazel from out west. I think I'm good. I'm feeling complete, brothers and sisters. So, yeah, say goodnight to the bad guy.
Me, I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Super aggressive. Being super aggressive.
Come on.
You guys are like
Last
weak
time I
and
was
lazy.
a black guy like this again.
The Great Reset's happening. So when you get all your pretty and nice shit taken away and your bullshit job that leads to nowhere, and you're forced back on the land and have to be self-sustainable and co-creative and work with what is, this talk about your feelings and your ego is going to go right out the window, because the God and the elements and nature are going to present what needs to happen next. 9 out of 10 times. That's the difference between me and you. I got it in me, not on me, just like you do. I'm trying to work it out, bring the subconscious to the conscious and figure out who and what I am. Am I good or evil? Am I real and true? Am I a narcissistic, egotistical deceiver? That's the difference. I'm actually authentically trying to work it out while you lie to everyone and project your negative aspects of self onto me, and I don't appreciate it. And the universe don't appreciate it either. And the students of life in this audience don't appreciate it either. This isn't about love and money. This isn't about chasing bags or anything else in and of the world. This is about the Philo Sophie, right? The love of knowledge, the love of wisdom, the love of understanding of self and applying it to actualize and realize and get better results for yourself and everyone else. I thought that's what we were doing here. So let's get the game back in its proper perspective. The motherfucker doing this shit shouldn't have to talk about it because you folks want to lie on it. It's embarrassing to me.
God damn it, Paul.
I didn't come on here with the intention or the understanding that this is supposed to be for business or a hobby. That's why I show up the way I do 500 days straight. That's why I have a care in my heart with passion. That's why I do what's true and what's right and see through you motherfuckers and get amazing results for me. We can't allow the generalized experience of life and everything it has to offer, good, bad, and indifferent, to hold us back or keep us paralyzed or keep us fearful or self-doubting or unloving and uncaring of ourselves. How do I know? Because I look into me. That's all this is. I can see further than the rest. I can interpret beyond what's told and shown, and I can amalgamate and communicate the cause and effect and the root of the state of consciousness and awareness. That is a astounding testimony to the work that I've done on myself in this world and in this life and the practices I've walked with other people. The question and answer, the fellowship, the co-creational endeavors, and the conversation that leads to understanding. But again, we can't appeal to false emotions and false authority. That is the cornerstone of cognitive dissonance. You can't say that I'm respectable, righteous, honorable, presentable, and then I have balls and then turn around and hate me or catch feelings over me, be in that and live in that when you don't like it or when it doesn't turn out as favorably for you as you would have hoped or expected, right? That's the theme of a true common bond that goes long term versus the shallow materialistic worldly connections that come and go. It is what it is. Some people are down forever. Some people are down for the ride until they got to get off, right? And some people ain't down at all. So through the life experiences, firsthand experiences, through the tests and challenges, you learn more and more who and what is meant for you and who or what is probably not going to be able to sustain the ride. And that's okay.
God of all media.